stop him.
The former Friar, as you said, a defensive force, A-10 defensive team, also on the A-10 second team. Joe, he draws 6 fouls per 40 minutes he plays. That's super impressive. He has a lot of numbers that are really impressive, including his field goal percentage, which is at 63%. I would like to switch to the other side, Joe. The premier player in the white and maroon, Day Reeves, an all A-10 second team player, an all A-10 third team player coming into this season. He was all MAC last season, had a fantastic all MAC tournament last season. What do you expect out of Day Reeves? He can't really have the expectations any higher.
The expectations couldn't be higher, but one of expectations mattered to this guy. He was just named second team all-conference, and he's not satisfied with that, and nor is anyone who's watched his team this year. Everyone thinks he should be a first-teamer. He led the team in the league in scoring, top 10 in assists, top 10 in steals, second in the entire conference in win shares. This is a guy who's totally unfazed by the moment. We saw him take Iona to the MAC championship as a 4 seed last year. He had 28 points in the first round, then 23, then 19. He had 2 steals in every single game. He had 6 or more rebounds in each of those games. He is a big-time player, a big moment player. This is his moment. Any game from here on out, potentially his last as a college student. This means everything to him and to this team, and you can expect a big show from Day Reeves.
Yeah, got to keep a keen eye on number 2 in maroon. The lights come up from the player intros here, and we're just about set to go in Pittsburgh, the Steel City. Coach Mike Magpayo pacing around the paint area of the court, the rest of his team in a huddle. As I mentioned before, the Fordham Rams in their home white uniforms with maroon numbers and letters. The GW Revolutionaries on the other side in their dark blue away uniforms with gold letters and numbers. The Fordham Rams directly across from us. We sit courtside on the sideline. They're directly across from us. The GW Revolutionaries bench diagonal from us. Joe Henry, it's been a great season so far, a season of ups and downs for the Fordham Rams. I don't know if they could be hitting any or be firing any harder than they are right now coming into this season.
Absolutely. Winners of 5 of their last 7. They had that big 4-game win streak later in February. This team is not what it was at the beginning of conference season. They could not be peaking at a better point.
And Coach and Joe, we got a chance before the game to catch up with head coach of Fordham basketball, Coach Mike Magpayo. Take a listen now. Coach, coming into this GW game, heard you with Andrew Bogish earlier this week, talked about how important a start and an early start would be in this one. What are the specific things you want your team to achieve in the first 8 minutes or so today?
I just think you have to be in attack mode from the start. You know, I think that like any loose ball, any 50-50, I mean, we got to be first to the floor. We just got to have that mindset and make it our type of game right away. Physical, win the glass, attack the glass, and just attack it with a certain mindset. You don't want to be swimming uphill. You want to do in these games.
You're good.
And so
we're in the elements. We're in the arena here.
Yeah, for sure, man. So you want to go right at them.
Absolutely.
And, Coach, nothing can really replicate a playoff environment, but you and a lot of these guys have playoff experience. In the past few days, what kind of things have you been telling them to try and help them prepare for what the pressure's going to be like?
You know what? I like where we're at. I feel like our guys are loose, but we know who we are. So I think that's where we feel real comfortable, is that we got a lot of conviction in what we do and how we do things. And we've really just been like pounding that in their heads. Just stick to what you guys do. Your roles are all really defined. You guys know exactly how we do it, how we win games, and let's make it that kind of game today.
And Coach, your star player, your marquee player, Day Reeves, an all A-10 third teamer this week. He even got a lot of love online, saying that he might have even should have been higher. Maybe he's getting underrated in some aspects. How important is Day Reeves been to you and this season, this team?
Oh, he's been so special. And I thought he should have got first team, but I haven't mentioned it to him. And I'm counting on him letting everybody know and showing the whole conference and showing the nation what kind of player he is. But he's just been a winner, a great leader, and he's continued to grow and get better throughout the season. And scouts have been calling about him, and which is awesome. I'm just so proud of him. And he's going to go down as a New York City legend. His year at Iona last year, born and raised in Syracuse, and put this kind of year together at Fordham and put this program on the map. And hopefully we could keep going.
And on this GW team, you didn't see him the first time, but Rafael Castro back in the lineup. Past 4 games, they're only 2-2 with him back, but obviously he elevates their team a lot. What have you seen these past 4 games, and what are kind of the things you're looking to exploit or prepare for today?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough he's going to be exploiting certain things now. And so we're going to have to double team him, swarm him.
And that's a bucket for Luke Hunger, getting things started here in Pennsylvania. Things started in Pittsburgh with a GW opening tip, 1 to them, and it was Luke Hunger on the other end scoring. The guy who's been so good in replacement of Rafael Castro. They start together today on this early afternoon. Rieke Schulte faking right, going left, and missing with the left hook, sky hook at the rim. Rafael Castro stumbling at midcourt. Eventually GW sets up in the half court. Pass to the top of the arc. Hunger pump fakes. Pass inside, cutting, kick out by Aaron Gurn, and it's stolen away by Christian Henry. Henry plays it up to Day Reeves. Day Reeves on the left wing. Mid-range jumper, blocked by Castro. Castro's presence felt immediately, and GW has it. GW trying to compound their lead, and it's going the other way. Offensive foul, it'll be on Luke Hunger. A illegal screen foul on GW, and Fordham gets the ball back. 2-0 GW in the early stages of this one.
Chris, through 5 possessions, every single possession has ended with a touch by a front court player. That's the key to this game. Yes, backcourt's huge for Fordham. Chris Henry, Day Reeves, who's going to show up? But these front court guys, Abbas Bodija, Rieke Schulte, Luke Hunger, and Rafael Castro, these are 2 of the biggest, girthiest, most inside presence force teams in the league, and they'll be going at it today.
Schulte, top of the arc, pass to Christian Henry, left corner. Henry drives baseline, drives on Autry, pass inside to Bodija, and he traveled. Christian Henry with 1 extra step under the basket, and GW gets it back. 2 straight turnovers back to back.
The type of sloppiness you can expect. It's 4 straight turnovers between both of these teams. Each of them 2 turnovers the last 2 possessions.
Aaron Gurn playing it up top to Hunger. Hunger, dribble hand off to Jones. Christian Jones. The Stratford native to the right elbow, pass to Hunger. Hunger rolling, tried to get a lob to Castro, and Castro wasn't there. Out of bounds on the baseline, another turnover for these offenses.
Yeah, pretty ugly so far.
Yeah.
5 turnovers and 7 possessions for these 2 teams.
Even with the turnover, GW 1 for 1 from the field. Made their only shot so far. Fordham now operating offensively. Henry, deep on the left wing, going right around a Schulte screen, now faking left. In the middle of the lane, feeding off his defender, takes a shot, no good. Ball batted out by Schulte, or eventually grabbed by Aaron Gurn. GW going back the other way. Revolutionaries on the right wing. Aaron Gurn driving, kick out. Jones pump fakes, drives inside, stops at the free throw line, and then an extra burst to the rim, and he finishes with a spin. Really pretty move from the all-rookie team player, and GW out to a 4-0 lead. 17:25 to go in the first half. Pass in the right corner. Day Reeves to a cutting Schulte. Schulte under the rim, spinning, right-handed hook, no good at the rim. GW gets it back. Fordham continuing to miss from the field.
It's going to be really intriguing to see how Rieke Schulte adjusts here. Misses his first 2 shots. A lot of times we see him get complacent and not shoot after a slow start. He needs to stay aggressive.
Aaron Gurn tries to get it inside. Schulte bats it away. Akira Jacobs on the steal. Fordham doing a good job on the defensive end, stacking chances. Henry on the left wing. Pass up top to Bodija. Bodija, right to left crossover, middle of the lane, puts up a floater and gets it to go. The All A-10 Rookie of the Week gets that one to go, and Abbas Bodija with a major lift early for the Fordham offense.
Something about these freshmen, Roar Abbas Bodija, the freshman, the first to score in the A-10 tournament game. They're just so fearless and so talented. Bodija with a hand in his face, no problem.
Great sign for the Fordham of the Rams. Bodija not done on the defensive end, swiping that one away from Castro in the post. Out of bounds, it'll stay with GW.
So many deflections early on. We've seen that all season, but especially the last month for Fordham. One of the best defensive teams in the country, 13th in opponent points per game all season long. But the last month, the turnover numbers have gone up by a ton, and the amount of deflections, just lack of fluidity and smoothness that they allow their opponents to get.
GW gets it in on the baseline. Left corner 3, no good from Autry. It's rebounded under the basket. Offensive rebound, second chance for GW, no good from Marshall, and Fordham has it. Castro tried to put it back with a monster slam. He couldn't grab it. It's now Roar Akor, the freshman in the game for the Rams, subbing in for Akira Jacobs. Akor, fake to Christian Henry, left wing. Henry dancing on the left wing, back to Schulte. Schulte faking the dribble handoff, stopping in the right post, backing down Castro. Now the middle of the paint, gets it poked away. Fordham offense continuing to struggle. It's Jones, left wing 3, it's good. He was walking away from that one before it even went in, and GW out to a big lead early. 7-2, 15:39 in the first half. Day Reeves slithering through the defense at the right elbow, takes a mid-ranger, no good off back iron. Schulte there on the offensive rebound, no good on his putback, but he'll go to the line for two. Contact on the right arm, on the right-handed floater, and Schulte will go to the line. A timeout before the free throws.
Yeah, he's been the beneficiary of a call here to get to the line, but seemed to be a little tunnel vision. I think probably just the nerves of the moment. He wants to be able to have a big game on the big stage. The guy who's had such an improved season. He didn't win Most Improved Player of the Year, but he certainly was deserving. He was averaging 3 and 3 last year, and now he's averaging 11 and 9. Just has been almost a walking double-double, exceptional for this team. We've seen in the past couple possessions get double-teamed on his post touches, which we haven't seen a whole ton this season. First time it's a turnover, second time he draws a foul, but open shooters on the perimeter. Fordham hasn't taken a 3 yet. We'd like to see them not spray it from 3. You don't want them to take too many shots because that's not their strength. They're a sub 30% shooting team on the season. That's bottom 10 in the country, but with Roar Core, Day Reeves open, those are the kind of shots that you like, especially off an offensive rebound. That can be a swing, big momentum play.
And the Rams 1 for 6 from the field. That's 17% for their field goal percentage. Joe, it's been a slow start, as you said. Their defense and their forcing of turnovers has kept them competitive in this one early.
No doubt, absolutely. The turnovers have been one of the many factors in Fordham's improvement that past month. Another one is just their physicality, but it goes both ways. Aggressiveness on offense to draw fouls, aggressiveness on defense to just make life tough on opponents. You're getting deflections. Even if you're not getting steals, you're making so that offenses can't get settled in the half court, and that's why this team has the best half court defense in the entire conference. So already to have forced so many turnovers, GW's got 4, and that's one of the big themes of this game. GW is a team that is so efficient offensively and is very solid defensively too. They don't have a clear weakness. If there was one, it's the turnover battle. That's where they rank bottom 100 in the nation. Their turnover percentage, 18% of the time. So 1 in every 6+ possessions, they're turning the ball over. Fordham can exploit that, especially as a team that has started to turn teams over way more than they used to. Beginning of A-10 season, they were turning over nobody at all, but they forced 12 or more turnovers in 7 of their last 8 games.
Yeah, and we'll continue to keep a track on those turnovers. We talked at the beginning of the game, Joe, about how the interior was the big story of the first game. The Fordham Rams out-rebounded and out-offensive rebounded the GW to smithereens, basically, at the nation's capital. It's been a different story so far today. 5 rebounds for GW, 2 rebounds for Fordham. Both teams with an offensive rebound on their record. It seems GW is going to have a lot better of a presence on the interior in this matchup.
Yeah, it starts and ends with Rafael Castro. It's really that simple, because he's one of the best rebounders in the conference. He's 3rd in the conference rebounds per game, and he only plays 27 minutes a game, which is another cool thing about this GW team. No one plays more than 27 minutes, so they have a lot of scoring on the bench. They're top 40 in the country in bench scoring, but even with Hunger and Castro not playing a lot, one of the things about Castro's injury that is really interesting is that Luke Hunger, who had been coming off the bench as the backup big, slotted into the starting lineup, had this amazing month of February. There was a 20-day stretch where he averaged 22 and 9. He was the 2nd leading scorer and rebounder in the entire month. And because he was so good, now he and Castro play together as a 6'10", 6'11 front court. Really, Fordham and GW are the only 2 teams in the entire conference that have 2 bigs in their starting lineup, and so they match up pretty well.
We'll see how those 2 continue to favor throughout the rest of the afternoon. 7-2 GW. Schulte at the line for his first. He misses off front rim. 7-2, 15.5 to go in the first half. Schulte missing his first. Louis Lesmond, the Harvard transfer, subbing in for the Fordham Rams as well. He subs in for Abbas Bodija. Schulte missing the second as well. Fordham 0 for 2 at the line. GW now has it offensively. On the right wing, Autry has it behind the perimeter. Tries to get it to Castro up top. Castro got it poked away, gathered it in the backcourt. Now GW operating in the front court. Jones left wing to Autry right wing. Autry driving straight to the rim. Dump off pass. Back out. Castro. No good from Jones on the pass out from Castro. Fordham going the other way.
Fantastic defensive possession by Rika Schulte right off the missed free throws. He's staying confident.
Extra pass to a core. Left corner 3. No good. Rebound brought down by Tyrone Marshall Jr., the Western Kentucky transfer. Marshall, right to left crossover. Has it on the left wing, kicks it out. Trey Dinkins, the Duquesne transfer. Step back, left wing 3, no good. Rebound brought down by Christian Henry. That's an ambitious shot attempt there from Dinkins.
They got shooters, though. Dinkins shoots over 5 a game. Autry shoots about 8. and they like to launch it early in the shot clock, but they've been inefficient so far. That's a good sign.
Reeves to Henry, left wing, pump fakes, back out. Reeves, top of the arc three, no good off back iron. Fordham can't get a shot to go in. The lid's on. GW
1 for
moving
8
it.
to start.
It's like in Dick's when they don't want you to shoot on it. They have the lid on top of it. Castro downstairs to Autry. Beautiful pass and beautiful finish. GW continuing to pile it on offensively. It's now 9-2, 14:06 to go in the first half. Fordham needs a solution quickly on the offensive end.
Reeves and Schulte a combined 0 for 5, so who's going to start this offense?
Lesmond gets it to Schulte. Inside, he loses it. Castro grabs it. GW with it offensively once again. Jones has it, left wing, drives inside, Euro step around a cord, no good at the rim, but he'll go to the line with a foul. Rorik Cord kind of staying in place, staying in the way, and picking up a foul. Not the start, Joe Henry, that the Fordham Rams could have wanted.
But not a start that they're not used to. And we've seen it time and time again this season where Fordham will score as many points as minutes played in the first 10 minutes of the game. They usually will have 8, 10, 12 points.
Fordham Rams
so to have 2 points through 6+ minutes, absolutely it's inauspicious, but it's not unfamiliar territory. This team is familiar playing from behind, especially on the road, so they just need to settle in here. I think nerve's a big factor.
First one at the line from the starter for GW, Christian Jones, no good. A-10 all-rookie team last season, 24-25. He started 21 of 34 games last season, and obviously that role has only grown so far this season. Good at the line, 1 for 2 for Jones. Fordham now 3 minutes without a bucket or points. Not even a free throw for Fordham. They had 2 points 3 minutes ago. They have 2 points now.
Interesting to see what they do here. They sub Jacobs in, so with him, Lesmond, and a core, you've got 3 3-point shooters that really don't do a whole ton else in this offense. Would like to see Reeves get some penetration and then maybe find shooters in the corners.
Reeves, right to left crossover, at the left elbow, spinning right, takes a fade away, it's good. It's inevitable with Day Reeves that those eventually start to fall, and that one did. Fordham down 10-4, 13-24 in the first half.
Interesting development, Chris. Fordham in its 2-3 zone. It's patented 2-3 zone that has suffocated opponents for the first time today.
And a baseline run from Marshall, tried to meet the ball at the rim with an alley-oop. It was broken up by a core. Fordham stacking stops now. Trying to get a score. Day Reeves, pass to a core, right wing. Extra pass to Lesmond. Lesmond driving through the left wing. Pass to Day Reeves, left wing three. No good, air ball. Schulte trying to gather it under the basket. It's brought up by GW. And it's going to be a push in the backcourt. Reeves Schulte trying to gather the ball from GW, and he picks up a push foul. Coach Mike Magpayo not happy with him picking up that foul.
Absolutely. You love the aggression from Reeves, and that's where Fordham has hung in this game, that Reeves has been the matchup on Rafael Castro, and anytime Castro touches it at the top of the key where he's really the engine, the general of this GW offense, Schulte has gotten tip fouls, or has gotten tips on the ball, but in that play, having already picked up one foul, Schulte not smart to pick up your second there, just fighting for a rebound that was already secured by the other team.
And he gets sat down immediately. Abbas Bodija coming in for him. That's the 5 for the Rams. In the right corner, GW3, no good off front rim for Garrett Johnson. Another Ivy League native missing that one. Outlet pass sent up ahead by Lesmond to Bodija, and it was about 3 to 4 feet over his head out of bounds. That ball sailing into the baseline.
It's a great idea, Chris, because Bodija had space in the full court. He was sprinting hard, and Lesmond had some momentum off of the tipped out rebounds, which is too much on the pass. Another turnover that you wouldn't see in the regular season, but I think these guys are just so nervous that they're making some uncharacteristic mistakes.
Frustration and a little bit of nerves building for the Fordham Rams. 10-4 GW, 12:23 left in the first. Aaron Gurn on the left wing, alternates wings to Dinkins. Dinkins back to Aaron Gurn. Aaron Gurn guarded by Lesmond. Right to left crossover, gets in the lane, dump off pass to Johnson. Johnson misses under the rim. And now fight for it, Aaron Gurn ends up with it. GW on the second chance. Dinkins' three is good. The straight-on three on the bat-out offensive rebound is good for the Duquesne transfer, and GW piling it on the Rams early. It's now 13-4, 12 minutes to go in this first half. Joe, a slow start for the Fordham offense, and this GW team has made them pay. It was slow, but now it's starting to happen.
Yeah, that was an ugly one, and really you can't be upset with the defensive effort so far, especially on first chances. GW really hasn't gotten anything going. They've really had maybe 2 good looks at a 3, and that's it, but that one a brutal O-board for them to get because every single person crashed the board. When Fordham has this 2-3 zone and the opponent drives inside, it pretty much collapses the entire defense. So by virtue of playing your natural defense, you have 5 rebounders. But what that can create, if the rest of GW's side is going to crash in as well, is just havoc in the paint. When you have 10 players jumping up for a rebound, they all jumped at the same time, and they tipped it out to the one guy who didn't crash, in Trey Dinkins, and that's not the guy to leave open on the perimeter. He's a guy who can shoot at 40% from 3.
Fordham with a slow start. They look to turn it around. It's a 13-4 GW Revolutionaries lead, 12:02 to go in this first half. We're going to send it to the Rosehill Studios from Steel City, and we're going to check in with Anthony Smith with the one-on-one scoreboard update. What up, Anthony?
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The A-10 tournament action continues right after this one. After this contest, it's the number 13 St. Bonaventure Bonnies against the number 5 George Mason Patriots. The Bonnies are coming off a 19-point win against LaSalle yesterday and look to carry that momentum into this one. As for George Mason, it's been 5 days since the Patriots have hit the hardwood, but their last game was almost a 30-point win against the top dog in St. Louis. The winner of this one has a date against Dayton tomorrow in the quarterfinals. Tip-off set for 2 p.m. Then at 5 p.m., it's Rhode Island and Duquesne for a 10 versus 7 matchup. It was a series split between the Rams and the Dukes this year, and now they face off for the 3rd time with their seasons on the line. Just over a week ago, Rhode Island got a 64-52 victory against Duquesne and looked for the exact same result, but this time to push them forward in the tournament and avoid an early exit. The winner of this game is right back at it tomorrow against the number 2 seed VCU. 5 p.m. tip-off from the PBG Arena. And wrapping up the second round, it's the last seed in Loyola Chicago against the number 6 seed in Davidson. The Ramblers, with a comeback victory last night against the Richmond Spiders, now try to continue what would be a magical run in the A-10 tournament, but have a tall task against the pesky Wildcats. Davidson has the series sweep against Loyola Chicago, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. St. Joseph's awaits the winner of this contest. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 p.m. for the final game of the day from Pittsburgh. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Back here at PPG Paints Arena in the beautiful city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This beautiful arena is the set for the A-10 tournament. We're here in the second session, the second round for the 11:30 game at Fordham MGW. I'm Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Joe Henry. Joe, it's been a slow start for Fordham, but as you've said, not a unfamiliar place for the Rams, and it also could be a lot worse for the Rams as well. They've done enough to keep themselves in this one.
If you wanted to look back to the last time Fordham had to start this bat, you'd go back 4 days. You were right. They scored 8 points first 8 minutes. Nothing new for this team. They play from a deficit all the time, especially on the road, and they've become exceptional at it. They have this kind of road underdog mentality that carries them through, but this offense has to find something. Reeves has gotten to his spots. He's been contested, but he's been missing so far. You expect him to keep shooting it, but everyone else has to chip in too.
And Day-Day in the right corner. Green 3, it's good! Marcus Green subbing into this one and making a big impact on the offensive end immediately. The Hawaii transfer gets Fordham back within 6, 13-7, 11:40 to go in the first.
He's been virtually ousted from the rotation, but when he's come in the past 2 weeks, he's been a total spark plug for this unit.
Dinkins to Aaron Gurin, left wing, wide open 3, no good off back iron, rebound by Accor. Fordham looking to push the momentum now. Day-Day Reeves, left wing, going around in a Bodija screen, finds Bodija rolling. Bodija loses the ball, but it's going to be a foul call. I believe the foul is going to go on junior Virginia native Garrett Johnson. Johnson, one of those pieces you were talking about, Joe, that adds to the depth of this GW team. Rafael Castro, the marquee player of this team, not playing more than 27 minutes a game, and that's due to guys like Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson's the team's second leading scorer off the bench. He's just got a crazy story. Redshirted freshman year, missed his sophomore year with a benign tumor, which he still deals with to this day. He's had other injuries. He was a 4-time Rookie of the Week last year, and now this year he's developed into quite the player for the Revs.
Accor has it in the left corner to Akira Jacobs. Straight on. Gets it to Day-Day Reeves. Right wing. Drives inside. Straight in. No good on the shot. It was blocked, actually, on a helping defender, Aaron Gurin, but it's going to be a foul on the shot, and Day-Day Reeves will go to the line for 2. Day-Day Reeves slashing and either scoring or getting fouled. It's become the name of his game, Joe.
It's huge for him. He's a guy who got to the line about 4 times a game Last year, how about 6.5 free throws attempted per game in the last 6 games? That's up near the top of the country. His aggressiveness slashing inside is so helpful to make you have to respect him on the interior, so that you have to guard him tight really from all 3 levels. But as he misses his first, which is so uncharacteristic for a guy who's tied 7th in the country, 7th in the conference, 86% from the free throw line.
114 free throws this season.
Yeah, I mean, he has been money from the line, but this is where if he can see the second one go in, he can start to feel a little more confident.
And he sees that one go in. One of the guys, Joe, we wouldn't think needs to see the ball go in to gain confidence, but you're right, it happens to the best of us.
Especially in the postseason atmosphere. I mean, it's new for everyone, and the pressure is as high as it's ever been in this guy's career. Yes, he's been on this type of stage before, but this is his last year of college basketball. Any game could be his last.
And this is the biggest stage he has played on up to this point in his career. GW working offensively. Day-Day subbing out after that play. Christian Henry, his backcourt partner, subbing in for him. Marcus Green stays on the floor. Autry, pass in the right corner. That three from Boo Boo Benjamin is good. Said his name a whole lot around 2 months ago, and Boo Boo Benjamin back with vengeance. 16-8 GW lead, 10:30 to go in this first half. Christian Henry at the top of the arc on the A-10 logo. To Marcus Green, deep on the left wing. Green moving to the left corner, drives baseline, kicks it out. Christian Henry has it now, straight on. Will take a three, no good off front rim. Rebound brought in by a flying Castro. Now Christian Jones on the left wing, passed it to Castro. Castro has it. On the top of the key, dribble handoff. Aaron Gurin back out. Autry pump fakes, drives inside, right of the lane. Contested shot, no good at the rim, but he'll get fouled by Abbas Bodija. Bodija picking up the foul. He was not happy about it, but nonetheless, Autry going to the line for 2.
Yeah, it's a really tough call because Bodija was being shielded off by Castro to try and give Autry space. So Bodija was trying to fight through that just to get a clean contest off. But when you're fighting through that and pushing forwards towards the player driving at you, of course you're not going to be in legal guarding position. So just a tough spot for Bodija. Offensively for the Rams, couple minutes here without Day-Day. Have to imagine no more than 2, but it's huge that Chris Henry is going to be able to do more than he's done so far. Not just his shooting, that's one thing, but getting deep penetration inside and finding something offensively. And in fact, after just one possession, they're going to sub Reeves back in for Henry.
Fordham Rams 1 for 4 at the line so far. The GW Revolutionaries now 4 for 5 at the line. Day-Day Reeves back in, as you said, no longer than 2 minutes. Number 2 has the ball on the top of the A-10 logo. Tried to get it to Roricore, who slipped.
And he's hurt.
He seemed like he slipped, but he also seemed like he was tripped. Was he not tripped, Joe?
I thought he was.
Because it's rare to see an opponent immediately, as quick as he can, go to try and help up a player, unless they fouled them. You know what I'm saying?
He's limping a little bit.
It's not a great admission of guilt to immediately help up the player that just hit the deck. Not to say the guy isn't polite. I'm sure he is, but Mike Magpayo getting in. Enrique Schulte off the bench. He's going to come in for Roricore, a slightly bigger lineup as Roricore limps toward the bench. Not a good sight for the Fordham Rams. Could be a classic sign of court burn or one of those things. Regardless, not something you want to see if you're a Ram fan.
And he's walking all the way towards the locker room here. I think he's going to sit on the trainer's table and get set. He's had to leave a lot of games with minor injuries, cramping, tweaked ankles. He missed 6 games with an ankle injury earlier. Something to monitor for sure.
Castro in the left corner to Marshall. Extra quick passes. Gets to Autry. Top of the arc. No good off back rim. Jones there on the second chance. They got the offensive rebound. GW working offensively once again. Tries to get it to Marshall. He does. Marshall being guarded by Day-Day Reeves. Cross-court pass. Aaron Gurin's 3. No good from the right corner. Marshall on the third chance. His putback. No good. The fourth chance is good. Enrique Schulte getting his hand in the danger zone around the rim. And it seemed, Joe, at least to me, that he was the one that tipped in from what my count was the 4th chance for GW on the offensive end.
Yeah, it was the 4th chance. Castro's coming in right behind him with some force. But the offensive rebound is going to need to be a team effort for Fordham, and it hasn't been so far. We've had some instances where you had Okor or Jacobs flying in, one hand trying to grab the rebound, but at the end of the day, for a GW team that likes to shoot a lot at threes, especially when you have long rebounds, it needs to be all 5 guys hawking the ball to try and find where it's going to glance off the rim, where they can angle towards to try and get any kind of advantage against a really big GW team. Frankly, a team bigger than any team that Fordham has faced all season thus far, and so far GW has owned that on the glass, and really all season they have too. If you look at the rebounding numbers, Fordham typically best in the conference. Those categories, 27th defensively, 54th offensively. GW's 100th defensively, but 21st in the country offensively. 36% of shots they get an O board on.
That's one of those where the percentage is more impressive than the 21st in the country. 36% of times they miss a shot on the offensive end. That ball is theirs. That's very impressive. Day Reeves going to get it in the full court. He'll try and get into the front court. He eventually does. Past half court, guarded by his fellow guard, Christian Jones. The 2-2s guarding each other. Now get pushed over to Marshall. Rika Schulte gathers it, top of the key. Schulte fakes the dribble handoff, passes to a cutting Reeves. Reeves lost the ball, and it's out of bounds. Day Reeves lost the handle, and when it out of bounds on the baseline, it'll be GW ball. Joe, not a great sign if even Day Reeves is losing the ball and causing turnovers.
Really ugly. 6 turnover for Fordham, and they've done better recently at protecting the ball. 3 of them unforced.
And that's a middle of the paint floater good from Marshall. Tyrone Marshall Jr. gets that one to go for GW. He puts his team up 14, 22-8, 8.5 to go in this first half. Day Reeves trying to stop the bleeding. To Marcus Green, right wing, drives to the middle of the lane, gets inside, reverse layup is good. On the body of Castro. Where this Fordham offense needs it, Marcus Green is there. Pass inside Marshall. Marshall tried to get inside to Castro, who was poked away. Fordham forces the turnover. Fordham down 12 with the ball. 8 minutes to go in the first half. Day Reeves waltzing at the top of the arc. Guarded by Aaron Gurin. Goes left around a Schulte screen. Now guarded by the much bigger Castro. 2 of the best players in the conference. Spins right. Fadeaway jumper. No good from the mid-range. Rebound brought down by Marshall. It's now Christian Jones. Bring it up quickly for GW. Settles on the left wing. Fakes left. Goes right. Now settles back. Now goes left. In the left corner. Jones. Fakes a spin right. Drives baseline. Passes the ball out. It was stolen by Day Reeves. He pokes it back to GW. GW has it now. Aaron Gurin on the left wing. And it's going to be a shot clock situation they're going to have to deal with on the scores table. I was not the only one out of calibration there. The referees and their computers were as well. A frantic possession, as they've all been, for the GW offense. Fordham not able to really just get a stake or really gain any momentum in this one so far, Joe.
Not at all. I mean, Marcus Green accounts for half of their scoring. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. A guy who's averaging 4 points a game. He's already got 5 of Fordham's only 10 in 12 and a half minutes here. And for Reeves, just trying to spark something defensively. He's really struggled offensively. I wonder if there's an issue with the court or the ball, not to make excuses for him, but he's lost his handle a few times dribbling. It's just very uncharacteristic of him. But on defense, we see him, as we've seen all season, be the first to the floor. I mean, he went head first diving onto the baseline to try and save that ball and ended up with GW. I think if it ended up with Fordham, that would have been a huge momentum play in front of his own bench. Instead, he has to get up and play defense again.
And Joe, you just made me laugh there because you're so right. I love what you just said there. Day Reeves has been so dependable and so good this year that when he's not going and he looks really out of sorts, Joe, you think it's the court or the ball. It can't even be that he's having a bad day or he's having an off day. Similarly, I've had this conversation before, but NBA players know immediately when the rim isn't perfect and it's slightly altered because of how good these players are. Day Reeves is one of those guys where if it isn't going for him, if he isn't having success, it might just be the equipment's problem.
Yeah, and I don't mean to suggest that it is, but he's the last guy who would complain, but you really never see him just lose the ball. I mean, it slipped out of his hands a few times today, whether while he's dribbling, on the catch, whatever it might be. And really for both of these teams, I mean, really sloppy play so far, to be frank. It is the playoffs. It is kind of first game nerves, got a big crowd. You know, the season's on the line, but almost too many times to feel like it's normal.
The Fordham Rams not doing well from the field, as you would expect from a team with only 10 points with 7.5 to go in the half. They're 4 for 14 from the field, 1 for 5 from three. That Marcus Green three you mentioned, the only three Fordham's had all afternoon long. On the other side for GW, they haven't been the image of efficiency necessarily. They're 3 for 10 from the three-point line, 8 for 19 from the field. Fordham not doing enough to take advantage of what has kind of been a slow start from a very efficient GW team.
Yeah, 22 points in 12 minutes sounds good, but really, given how good Fordham's half-court defense has looked, it's not. The only reason why they have that many points is because of Fordham's offense. Ironically enough, on the other side of the floor, Fordham's turnovers have been so awful, so unforced, so sudden, popped right into GW players' hands time and time again that they're able to run out and transition with ease. They have 11 points off of turnovers now to Fordham's 2. I mean, that 9 points is effectively the difference in the game. You add the 3 missed free throws, that is the difference. 12 points between points off turnovers and free throws. One of the two things my dad would tell me watching March Madness as a kid that were the difference in all these games in March. Turnovers and free throws.
And we got to talk about the rebounds, too. The GW in general is out-rebounding Fordham by more than double. They have 15 rebounds to Fordham 7. But on the offensive end specifically, the offensive rebound category, GW with 5 offensive rebounds in the 13 minutes of play so far, and Fordham with just 1. That seems, as much as turnovers and free throws matter, that seems to be just as big of a factor as those.
Yeah, it's another category. 5-0 GW and second chance points. And Fordham's second chance defense has been fine, but both of those buckets were really backbreaking. There was that long tip out to Dinkins for a 3 that forced a Fordham timeout. There was that 4th chance from Castro, just possessions that Fordham is begging to have end to try and stem together some momentum. I think both of those possessions were off after a Fordham make, too. So just really ill-timed mistakes from this Rams team.
It's Day Reeves and the Giants out there for the Rams. Louis Lesmond, Akira Jacobs, Rikas Schulte, Abbas Bodija, and Day Reeves. Every guy on the floor above 6'4", except for Day. Autry inbounds it in the half court for GW. Dinkins on the logo, no good from 3. The shot clock was low, but not that low. Dinkins with a second chance, extra pass to Jones. His 3 is good. Dinkins could have took another overzealous shot. Instead, he passed it off for an extra pass and a 3 from Christian Jones.
And that's just a killer. It wasn't a logo 3. I mean, he was inside the inner half-court circle, a 43-foot three-point attempt.
Circle.
I don't know what he saw, but somehow the long rebound goes GW's way again.
Louis Lesmond to Akira Jacobs, left corner, and that's going to be a foul in the left corner on GW. Fordham will hold on to it on the offensive end. 25-10 GW, 6:53 to go in this first half. This game's slipping away from the Rams.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do your last 6.5 minutes. This has been the stretch in games where Fordham has started slow that they've gotten right back into games, but they need a run, and that's not what they've gotten so far. 12-2 GW, last 3:46 of this game, and that's just the 5th foul from GW too, so it's not like the Rams can get into the bonus, start tacking on free points at the line.
To Akira Jacobs on the inbound, left wing, cross-court pass to Lesmond. Lesmond has it, right elbow, trying to get it out to Reeves. Keeps it himself. Pass to a cutting Reeves. Reeves at the rim. Dump off pass to Bodija. Bodija smokes the layup at the rim. A beautiful play, one of the most beautiful plays all season from the Rams offensively, and Bodija misses the easy layup. On the right wing to Johnson, straight on, guarded by Jacobs. Passed it directly linearly to his right to Hunger. Hunger straight on. Hunger getting hit hard physically from the helping defender Christian Henry. He picks up the reach-in foul. It'll be GW inbounding it in the front court.
Offensively, everyone has struggled shooting the ball, not named Marcus Green, but it's really tough after a great possession to not get a finish, and that's maybe the 3rd time today that either Bodija or Schulte has missed a pretty easy look.
Jones, left wing, snatched through left, trying to snake his way through 2 defenders, back out to Dinkins. Dinkins, right wing, going left around a Hunger screen. Now back out to Hunger. Hunger straight on 3. No good off back iron. Another missed 3. Another second chance for GW. Right corner 3. It's good. Another right corner 3. Another corner 3 is bottom for Christian Jones. He has GW out to their largest lead of the afternoon. It's 18.
It's clear that Fordham is not ready for this pressure so far, because on that play, Day Reeves had a clean rebound and Louis Lesmond just swatted it out of his hands. They're too over-eager, and it's causing mistakes among themselves.
Got to tell these guys they're on the same team. Day Reeves, behind the back pass. Eventually, Christian Henry gathers it. Almost a turnover. Henry driving to the rim. 3 on the shot clock. Gets the contact and the foul. Christian Henry with a little much-needed spark plug for the Fordham Rams. Christian Henry after the bucket gets Fordham within 16, 28-12, 5.5 to go in this first half. He'll have a chance for one more at the line.
It's absolutely huge because you said game slipping away from him. Rarely can you say that about this Fordham team in the first half. They've only been blown out really once all year. That was against St. Louis. Only time where they weren't in the game in the second half. This is dangerously becoming the second time. But to get that and one at that moment from Henry, too, who has struggled, is huge.
I was about to say, Christian Henry struggling at the line all season long. He is shooting a poor 57% from the line on the season.
And he missed it there.
Yeah, on the right wing, Boo Boo Benjamin. His three, no good from the right wing, out of bounds. It'll stay on this side with GW. Another second chance for the GW offense. That time off Akira Jacobs on the baseline.
Chris, GW not only out-rebounding Fordham and doubling them up, and more than doubling them in that category, nearly tripling them, they have more offensive rebounds than Fordham has defensive rebounds. So on a missed shot,
that's not normal, Joe.
More often than not, they've gotten the offensive rebound.
That's not normal, Joe, at all. Marshall out to Johnson, straight on three. It's good. Johnson, nothing but nylon on the pass from Marshall, and GW piling it on. It's now a 19-point lead, 31-12, 5:06 to go in this first half. Coach Mike Magpayo and his crew look deflated, Joe. You look deflated, Joe.
I mean, there is no energy on the bench either. It's not like there's anything to rally around for this team. They're going to need a sequence of events. They've had these intermittent little buckets or turnovers, something that gives you a little bit of a spark, a Marcus Green coming into the game, but no sustained runs. I mean, Fordham has not had a run all half long. This is a team that's been defined by runs. They'll have these scoreless stretches and then go on a big run to get right back into a game. And we said uncharted territory for this team. They've been through it all. We're picked last. They've never come back from a 19-point deficit, Chris. 15 is the biggest one. It's going to take something that we haven't seen all season from a team that has done it all.
Fordham going to need to kind of get into that resiliency back. We've talked about the cohesion of this group, how strong they all are together. A lot of that is a benefit or to your benefit in a moment like this. This group has to be as strong, as connected as they've ever been if they want to pull off this one. What a moment it would be for Mike Magpayo's program to pull this one off.
It would be, but we're going to have to start seeing the results before we start talking about how special it would be. And these 5 minutes are a huge, huge stretch. I think about that St. Joe's game. If you want to go through a historical analysis and find where Fordham can do what it did earlier this season, no, they've never come back from a deficit this big. They've only had a couple deficits this big all year. But against St. Joe's, at this exact point in the game, they trailed by 15. They went on a mini run to end the half. They made it 10 and then carved back from there. So you're down 19 now. Can you go into the half down 13 or less? And then after the first timeout, be down 10 or less and chip away like that? That has to be the mindset because you can't hit home runs. And some of the guys on this team are folks like Chris Henry who's going to want to try and get it all back. And you respect that out of him to what makes him a heck of a player. But you really just need one bucket, one stop, one bucket, one stop. Find a way.
Aside from Abbas Bodijo, who subbed out for Aurora Core, the starting five out there for the Rams. No guy on the floor for the Rams with more than one made field goal. Christian Henry driving inside, trying to kick it out, finds Day Reeves. Reeves on the left wing, has to get it going. Reeves, hop step, kick out. Akira Jacobs three, no good from the left corner, and Castro's there on the offensive rebound. Day Reeves and Christian Henry have combined 2 for 9 from the field. Dinkins, guarded on the left wing, now picked up on a double. Gets it to Castro. Castro back out to Jones. Jones fires a pass to Marshall. An array of fast passes. Ends up with Jones. Top of the arc. Jones in the middle of the lane. And as calm as you like, puts up a layup. It wasn't even a floater, Joe. It was a layup line floater. It was a layup line layup. Christian Henry kicking it out. Aurora Core, left corner three. No good off front rim. Fordham continuing to not get shots to fall on the offensive end.
The body language is really rough with this unit right now. They need to find a way to develop some confidence with themselves. Final 4 minutes. On that play from Jones, the reason why it looked like a layup line layup, this team has shot 16 of their 26 tries from three, and now they're hunting threes for the kill shot, and it's worked, just piling it on. So Fordham is closing out really hard, and it's creating driving lanes.
Dinkins to Marshall. Left block, cross-court pass. Jones right corner, back out to Johnson. Johnson driving through the right side of the lane. Tried to dump it off to Castro. It was taken away by Akor. Akor on the steal. Up to Christian Henry, left wing to Akira Jacobs. Straight on three. no good, and Fordham has it. A fight for it on the glass. Fordham got it back. Day-Day Reeves' mid-range jumper is good. Day-Day Reeves gets the extra chance for Fordham and gets the bucket for Fordham. Both much needed, Joe.
That'll calm you down. Day-Day in the mid-range, as he's done all year to end scoring runs from the other team.
Fordham now down 19. Jones playing in the left corner, Johnson. Johnson guarded as tight as you can be by Christian Henry. Johnson driving baseline and a foul on Christian Henry. Henry playing as physically as you can, and sometimes, Joe, you'll pick up a foul.
And he's frustrated about it, but you don't hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't like it because it sent to the media timeout. Now you have a break and you were just starting. You just got a big play from Reeves, the O-board and the bucket. So you wanted to start stacking possessions. You didn't want the play to stop here, but it was going to stop next whistle anyways. For Henry guarding tightly, you don't hate it because that's just the 5th foul for Fordham this half. So it's not like it's setting someone to the line. The shot clock was already around 20, so it's just going to reset back to there. So there's really no impact on that foul, but that level of aggression and also trapping a guy in the corner, this GW team, I mean, the ball has been hot. It's been moving around fast, so just trap it in one place for a while. It can settle your team down, also give them a breather, because they've been playing a long time continuously.
GW with a 33-14 lead over the Fordham Rams. 3:12 to go in this first half. Joe, you said immediate timeout. You know what that means. We're going to send it back to Anthony Smith in the Bronx in the Rose Hill Studios for another one-on-one scoreboard update. Take it away, Ant.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The knockout stage is set for the World Baseball Classic. After facing elimination with their stunning loss to Italy, Team USA sneaks their way through to the quarterfinals. Italy's 9-1 victory last night against Mexico sends the Americans through as they will face off against Canada. USA has some thanking to do, specifically to Vinny Pasquantino after his 3-homer performance last night, which was the first 3-homer game in WBC history. First pitch between USA and Canada is at 8 p.m. tomorrow night from Houston, Texas. In Miami, Florida, Korea entered the knockout stage as the runner-up in Pool C, set for a tough task in one of the best teams in the tournament in the Dominican Republic. The DR with a 4-0 record trying to keep the vibes alive to the semifinals. 6:30 p.m. is the scheduled time of first pitch from Lone Depot Park. On the other side of the bracket, Italy tries to continue and shock the world, going 4-0 in pool play. The Italians have a bout in 2 days against Puerto Rico. The runners-up in Pool A not only try to end the Italians' hot streak, but their espresso runs in the dugout. That contest is on Saturday at 3 p.m. from Houston. And to close out the quarterfinals, Shohei Ohtani and company come across Venezuela from Pool D. The Japan squad embarks on their continued journey to reclaim their title, but Venezuela is the first to stand in their way in the elimination stage. A Saturday night contest from Miami, Florida is set for first pitch at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
A 19-point lead for the GW Revolutionaries, 33-14. They lead the Fordham Rams. 3:12 to go in the first half. Their largest lead was 21. That was 4:20 left to go in the first half. Chris Carrino joined by Joe Henry here in the Steel City. Joe, it has been a disappointing start for the Fordham Rams. We kind of waited for the turnaround to happen as it's happened all year, but GW continuing to pile it on.
Yeah, it's on both ends too. Almost all season, Fordham has succeeded on one end or the other. Oftentimes they have a really slow start offensively, as we've seen today, but they excel defensively. And I would even venture to say, even though they've already allowed 33 points, much above the average that they'd allow in a half, or at least pacing to be that with over 3 to go in the half, their half-court defense has looked fine. It's been the second chances that have killed them. 14-0 GW in the second chance column. That's where Fordham needs to really lock in against a big GW team.
Some extracurriculars here on the inbound. Rika Schulte and A-10 second teamer Rafael Castro were subject to some whistles, and the official just making sure they're all right.
And Chris, it's ironic because Castro is only 2 points. Schulte's done a really good job on them. It's been everyone else that's killed Fordham.
Castro has it now on the inbound, gets it to Dinkins. Dinkins top of the arc, finds Castro at the rim for an alley-oop. Rafael Castro went backdoor, ran baseline, and slammed that one at the rim. Up top, Akira Jacobs to Roracor. Roracor has it, left wing. Up top to Christian Henry. Henry going right around the Schulte screen. Now drifting over to the right wing. Up top to Akor. Back to Henry. Henry directing his off-ball movement. Henry, 6 on the shot clock, drifting over to the left wing. He's deep, drives inside, tries to feed off his defender, puts up a shot. It's blocked by Castro. GW controls it with the possession after the block. Dinkins plays it to Castro. Castro, right wing, dribble handoff. Christian Jones walking slowly, guarded by the much bigger Jacobs. Cross-court pass, Boo Benjamin, his 3, no good from the left wing, brought down by Day Reeves. Day Reeves not going to go out without a fight here. Played up ahead to Christian Henry, back to Reeves. Reeves through the left wing, darts inside, no good at the rim once again. Day Reeves trying to run after that loose ball, and it'll be GW ball. Day Reeves, as quickly as I've seen him, gets in the lane and then just couldn't finish at the rim. It's just one of those days for the old A-10 player.
It's tough because he is fighting.
Yeah, he is as hard as you can.
Gets the D-board, pushes it up, finds an outlet, gets it back, drives inside, great look, fights for the O-board, can't get it. It's been that kind of day for Reeves, but he needs to keep going. It's the only hope this team has.
Aaron Gurn gets it to Castro. Castro, with 2 hands above his head, fires a pass inside to Benjamin. Benjamin back out to Castro. To Marshall, right wing. Marshall gets it poked away by Bodija. It's out of bounds, and it'll be Fordham ball. Fordham forcing the turnover out of bounds, something they've done a few times themselves this afternoon, finally on the right end of it.
It's big because the GW offense had really gotten into a rhythm, and now I think they're going to review it, and that's a tough one because I think that might have been out on Bodija, but I think given the circumstances of the game, down 21, that Bodija and Magpayo appealing for it, they got the call there. Typically that call would go to return the ball to the offensive team in that kind of situation. We'll see what they do here. But for Fordham defensively, GW has just been really in rhythm. Hasn't been a lot to shake them up. And those deflections were huge earlier in the game because GW couldn't get into that rhythm. So while Fordham had a super slow start offensively, GW wasn't really comfortable offensively. And Fordham forced, 5 turnovers in the first 6 minutes or so? They've only forced 2 since. So to have a little bit more aggression, a little bit more ball stoppage deflections here last few minutes is going to be huge to just slow this GW team down because they're getting every look they could want.
And Joe, you know me, I like to generalize. I know it's not the most accurate way to report, but I do think that when you say it like this, it's important. When a team's shooting 35% from 3, they're shooting 46% from the field. That's not necessarily numbers that lead to assume that a team would be up 20 points. That's a good kind of stat line, but it's not super impressive. On the other side for the Rams, if you're shooting 27%, not from 3, Joe, from the field, 27% from the field, 13% from 3, Joe, I don't know how many teams in the country you're going to be even competitive with, let alone winning.
Yeah, not unfamiliar for this team to have this kind of a first-half performance offensively. How about 1 for 5 from the free throw line, too? When you can't even cash in on your free chances to keep the game close. I mean, it's 21 points, but if you add those 4 on 17, I mean, every point matters in a game like this. And talk about generalizations, about stats trying to paint a story. 25-8 is the rebounding difference in this game.
Wow.
GW has more than triple the rebounds than Fordham.
And the review was just reviewed. It just came in with an official announcement. It will be confirmed. The call on the floor will be confirmed, and it will be Fordham ball. Fordham holding on to that one. You were pretty pessimistic, Joe, going into that review.
Yeah, because it just feels like one of those calls that you get when you're a team that's losing and you don't get when you're winning. So I figured that was the basis of why the call was made, not actually because Fordham didn't touch it last.
Yeah. Kira Jacobs, right wing, Fordham offense, trying to cut into the lead. Bodija, dribble handoff, Marcus Green, another dribble handoff, Day Reeves. Day Reeves, pass to Marcus Green, left wing 3, no good. Off the side of the rim, almost went in. That's going to be a foul under the basket, a reach in on Castro. Castro secured the defensive rebound and was getting mauled by Abbas Bodija. He picks up the foul.
You can afford that foul because it's one more until the bonus, but it's kind of the frustration showing. They are committing fouls in the backcourt after the team secures a defensive rebound. There's no need for that. Rafael Castro is really strong. He's really safe with the ball. You're not going to steal the ball after he grabs it with 2 hands and holds it close to his chest on the rebound. But I think that's emblematic of the frustration that Fordham's feeling and the desperation that they're trying to just poke and steal at everything.
Fordham desperate. As you said, 21-point deficit, 35-14, 1:16 to go in this first half. Jones on the right wing, going past Marcus Green, finds a rolling, and I mean rolling Castro. Castro, dump off pass to Marshall. He's blocked at the rim. Roar Core with as solid as you can get at the rim, a block, but Joe Henry, it's a foul. The Fordham bench, the Fordham players on the floor, everyone perplexed at that foul call. And this guy Castro can pass the ball too, Joe. This guy's vision is unbelievable.
Absolutely, and he's had to, and that's kind of been the difference in this game. He hasn't been the engine for their offense. I mean, he only has 1 assist, count it 2 if you want to call the foul an assist here, leading to free throws. But when he gets the ball in the middle of the floor, he's been double teamed, and he just makes the right decisions. Even if it doesn't immediately lead to a basket, he doesn't force it. He's not looking for his own points. He doesn't care if he finishes this game with 2 points. He cares about winning. And that's what makes him so dangerous. Not only is he so talented, but when teams game plan singularly for him, he allows the rest of his team to go out and succeed.
Marshall at the line. Tyrone Marshall Jr., the Western Kentucky transfer, no good on his second free throw after making the first. 59 seconds left in the first half clock. Pass in the right corner, Marcus Green. Still a 22-point deficit. Now the largest lead for GW. Pass in the left corner, Roricore's 3. It goes! He's waited all first half for one to go down. It does. With 43 seconds left, GW working offensively. Dinkins hop-stepping in the lane, no good, but a foul on the reach-in. Believe that one is going to go on a Bas Bodija again.
It's been like this all half, Chris, where you get that one play that you say, okay, maybe this will spark them. Maybe this is something to build off of. The true freshman hits a 3. Classic Roricore, right? Mike McPie always says, out of fearlessness or naivete, he's just going to throw it up there. He doesn't care at all. He's not afraid of the moment. But right after that, Dinkins pushes in transition. This is a fast GW team and gets looks at the line.
Dinkins making his first. It reminds me of a story, Joe, I always tell. Even, thinking about players like that. He had a poor game against LaSalle last week, and he didn't shoot the ball necessarily well. When a young guy like that is shooting, I always remind myself of my dad watching the 1998 Western Conference Finals. A young Kobe Bryant in Utah kept missing, but he kept shooting. That's the part my dad said mattered. It didn't matter he kept missing. It mattered that he kept shooting them. As the second free throw is good there for Marshall. Roricore in a similar light there. He won't stop shooting.
That's the message to him, to Akira Jacobs, and to Day-Day Reeves, because it's the former two's shooting that will get you back in from the perimeter, and Day-Day Reeves' aggression that will get you back in just from a leadership standpoint and stability standpoint in this game.
After the free throw, 21-point lead for GW. 26 on the game clock. 16 on the shot clock. Left corner 3, Lesmond blocked by Marshall. Blocked as solid as you'd like. Once again in the corner. It didn't deflect. It got straight up stopped on its flight. Aaron Gurin now has it on the A-10 logo. 8 seconds left in the half. 21-point lead for GW. They're trying to make it more. Aaron Gurin through the right side of the lane. Kicks it out. Marshall on the right wing. Step back 3. No good off the right side of the rim. And after that one doesn't go for the Western Kentucky transfer, that'll be it for the first half. Both teams running in their locker rooms. Fordham maybe running a little faster than GW. They trail 38-17 after a first half of basketball that Coach Mike McPio and company, Joe, would like to forget.
They're running fast because they got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
And they have very little to build off. If you want to look at the positives, GW hasn't scored a field goal in the last 3+ minutes. And you don't like to give up fouls, but when you force them to earn it at the line, it's great because this GW team have been non-stop coming at you in the paint, kicking out, getting wide open threes for a good 10-minute chunk of this game. And that's why the deficit's wide open. Also cashing on every second chance they get and dominating on the offensive glass. Fordham's defense has looked sound in the half court when they've been able to settle down a really fast GW team. The question the second half, it's one thing on defense and a whole ton more than we could possibly articulate on offense. On defense, find a way in the rebounding battle. Just about everyone has been silenced on the boards. You need a full team effort, boxing out Castro, but then having the ancillary guys come in and find ways to get rebounds, because more often than not, it's been the GW guards and wings coming down with second chances, not the bigs. It's been the guards and wings flying in and getting these long rebounds off at threes. Fordham needs something, just tagging your man even. It's tough when you're in a 2-3 zone. Sometimes you're not directly on a man when a shot goes up, but that's what they're going to need to do if they want to somehow pull down these rebounds. The deficit now 27-9. Still triple. GW has triple the rebounds that Fordham does offensively. I said it with about a minute to go. I think you have to lean on your guys. Lean on Reeves to be everything and more offensively, getting downhill, taking it to the line. You have a deficit, so you're going to be able to draw fouls, maybe try and get GW into some foul trouble. And other than that, just pray that the shooters will get hot. Roricore, Akira Jacobs. You don't want to take the home run shot every single time down the floor, But to come back from down 21 at the half, something you haven't done this year, frankly, you haven't faced a deficit this big all year, nothing even close to it. I think 15 against VCU is the biggest deficit they faced. They came back in that game to be down by just one. So, again, not totally uncharted, but this is the biggest deficit. 20 minutes for your season here.
To be fair, a week ago, they took the lead in the second half against LaSalle. They were down 18 in the first half of that one. So in a similar place, this Fordham team can get it done. It is possible, but Joe, they're going to need to do something special to come back and get more competitive in this one in the second half.
Absolutely, and it's a different team, right? GW is just a different team than LaSalle. I think you could even argue they're better than St. Joe's, or at least are harder to come back from because they shoot so many threes. So when you have such a lead and you're playing with such confidence, you know that every three could be a knockout punch. Now, you don't want to settle, and I think we saw them do a really good job of not doing that in the first half, which is really frustrating, right? You'd hope that a team that's in a big lead is going to get careless and just start chucking up threes, going for the home run punch, but they've adjusted so well. They were shooting so many threes, and then they only took 2 threes in the last maybe 6 minutes of the game, or 6 minutes of the half, because Fordham started closing out hard, and they're just taking the inside looks and trusting their bigs to get offensive rebounds, or trusting their wings to do it, trusting their guards to do it. So they're making all the right decisions offensively. It's going to start defensively. Can you find a spark? Then offensively, can you do something you haven't done all half and sustain momentum? I can't remember a time, I'm not sure there is a time all half where Fordham has scored on consecutive possessions.
Fordham going to need to score on multiple possessions. You're going to have to start stringing stops and scores together. When you get stops and scores, the game gets as close as you want it to be, depending on how much time you have. The Fordham Rams will have 20 minutes to, as I said before, do something special in the second half and come back against the GW Revolutionaries. Fordham going to try to turn the tide in the second half. A 38-17 lead for GW going into the locker room after the first half. We're going to send it to Anthony Smith and the Rose Hill Studios once again, as we have all afternoon long, this time for a halftime report with our host, Sam Jean Grande. Take it away, Sam.
The one-on-one halftime report.
And Joe. We sit here in the Rose Hill Studios right now with Fordham being down 38-17. I think this game so far, it's coming down to a matter of trust, and not to quote the Billy Joel song. I think that Fordham right now, they're not trusting the players, and I think they're not trusting themselves right now. I think they're getting a little anxious, maybe a little self-conscious being one of the bit higher seeds of this tournament, and I think it's starting to lead towards these players and the whole squad as a whole getting a little anxious. I want to give it right to you, Anthony. I just want to ask you, why do you think Fordham's down right now? Kind of open-ended question.
I think coming in as the 8th seed, and you have a lot of expectations coming into this tournament with a lot of upset wins that you've gained throughout the year. St. Joseph's, you played VCU really tight, as well as beating George Washington just not long ago. And I think that creates some kind of nerves, also just a different environment. I mean, neutral site in a tournament where really anything can happen. I think the nerves are just getting to Fordham right now. They're just really not playing. They're probably one of their worst games of basketball that we've seen throughout the season. It's really interesting to see because this Fordham team, it seems like they're always battling with the team. You don't really see them having to come from behind this much or play a game like we've seen throughout this whole 20 minutes. I mean, we've seen that more in St. Louis, but the thing with this Fordham team is that we've seen them come from behind and at least make it close in some of these games. So, I mean, maybe they pull off some sort of second half comeback. And, I mean, they are known to be as some of the comeback kids that we've seen it throughout this year.
I agree. I think Fordham, they kind of are a come from behind kind of team. They've come from the bottom, being able to wave in with some momentum going into the second half. And I really do hope this could happen with this team. I think, look, they had a really good second half of the season, their first few games in conference play. It was slow. They had ups and downs. I think they were really able to hone in on their specialties and use that in the second half of the season. But I think right now it's kind of going back to that first part of the season where they seem like they're not trusting each other, that team chemistry they've built so well on, especially with Coach Magpie, who's someone who's been doing everything for this team, where it feels like they're kind of going back on that, where it feels like they just kind of met each other as a team and they haven't been playing a whole season with one another. But if you were Coach Magpie, what would you be saying around the locker room going to the second half?
I mean, I think you got to come out firing in any sort of way, just try and get any sort of rhythm or momentum. I mean, we kind of saw that throughout these last 3 minutes. I think Joe mentioned it, that George Washington had no field goals in those last 3 minutes, so maybe try and carry that into the second half. I know his game plan was just try and come out firing in some sort of way in that first half, but we kind of see the opposite with Fordham. They off to a very slow start. It got uglier and uglier, and now it's a 38-17 game. So I think the message is that, I mean, you just got to trust every part of yourselves, every one of your teammates, and know that we are a good basketball team. We've beat this team before. We've gone toe-to-toe with a lot of other A-10 contenders throughout the year, and we're a very talented squad, but we can get this done. We can come back. We've done it before. I mean, we're used to this at this point.
It might sound a little silly, but what you really are saying is so important for sports. I think this is something I've said in my first halftime report. I'm saying this. I don't even know which number this is at this point, but having mentality, having belief in yourself is so important for anything you do in life, but especially with sports. I think being able to believe in yourself, being able to believe like, hey, like at the end of the day, we are a good basketball team, which is, I think, maybe, who knows, it would be two ends of the spectrum where maybe the Fordham team went in very overconfident since they beat GW before, and since that game was away, they could have maybe thought like, wow, hey, look, we beat this team once, we beat them away, we were on the road with probably very little home fans. This is a neutral game and closer, so they should have more fans there, but it might be on the other end of the spectrum where, who knows, maybe they don't have that confidence. Maybe they're like, wow, this is like our first time, like we're not even, we had to buy the first round, like we are one of those teams where we had to buy, like maybe they just got like too nervous, thinking like maybe we're not up to this, and it just makes me curious what Coach Magpie was saying in that locker room. I do want to say, I think at the start of the game, Fordham really should be capitalizing on. I don't think the GW offense was fully in check. I think they were in a bit of a similar situation with Fordham, and I think that Fordham having such a good defense that they should have capitalized on that. If their offense also needed time to get in place, I think their defense as well. Their defense should have been able to step up there and be able to control the court. I want to see what you think with that.
I think this GW offense has kind of played like an average game that you may see from a team throughout the season. I mean, 33% from the field. They've knocked down 6 threes, which is pretty impressive compared to Fordham only knocking down 2. But the thing with this GW offense is that Fordham offense is not really matching it and going toe-to-toe right now. I mean, they've struggled from beyond the arc. They struggled in field goal percentage. They've just been getting out-rebounded throughout this entire game, both on the offensive and defensive glass. And another big thing that's really helped this GW offense is the amount of second-chance opportunities they get. 14 second-chance points compared to 0 from Fordham, and then 16 bench points compared to 8 points on the bench from Fordham. And as far as the rebounding goes, I mean, Fordham only has 1 offensive rebound, so there's really no attempt at getting those second chance points that we see GW's getting throughout these first 20 minutes. And I think a lot of these players on this GW team really spreading the rock. You see a lot of players getting into the scoring column. As for Fordham, I mean, Reeves has been only held to 5 points, and then you see players that have stepped up throughout this whole year. They've gone quiet. Rika Schulte, only 0 points. Christian Henry, 2 points. You see him more of a main facilitator, though. And Akira Jacobs also held to 0 points. A lot of these talented players in this Fordham squad have been quiet throughout these first 20 minutes. And I think the message going forward is that, I mean, you guys have it in you. You guys are very talented players. You can shoot beyond the arc. You can move in the paint. And I think you just kind of got to lock in going into the second half. I mean, anything can happen. And we mentioned it in LaSalle. I mean, they came back down from 18 points. VCU, they kept it close when they were down big at home. This team is known for building great comebacks, and I think they could get it done because they have the right players.
Anthony, as a side gig, you might be able to go in the locker room and give this team some positive affirmations.
I might be a coach in the future.
I think so. I see it.
I coached baseball before, not basketball though. So.
Oh well, it transfers over, at least some of it. Like I feel moved with that a little. I think I really do mean it when I say mentality is so important when it comes to sports. This Fordham team really should. They should realize these things, and that it would go a long way. Like, look, we can't tap into the mind of these players, but if we could, I really do wonder what's going on. But to quote someone else here at FUV, Kurt Sipple, something he loves to say, spread the wealth, like spread it all around. I do agree. That's what GW is doing, but not Fordham. They're able to get the ball around the court, be able to have every player contribute, where this Fordham team, it really does feel like it's stuck between 1 to 2 players, and this is also something Fordham still has, the bench play. I don't think they utilize their bench as well as other teams. GW has been doing it, I would say, really well this game so far. I wouldn't say phenomenal, but I would say, look, it could be one of those big factors that's winning them the game right now.
Well, you mentioned spreading the wealth, and something that Fordham did really good last time they played GW was spreading the wealth. I mean, Dede Reeves last time he played, the Revolutionaries had 19, Christian Henry with 15, Kira Jacobs with 14, Jack Whitborn, obviously he's not playing due to injury, but he had 10. But those are 4 guys right there in double digits. And as for this Fordham team, their highest score right now is Dede Reeves and Marcus Green with 5 points. And as for GW, I mean, they're really spreading the wealth throughout throughout their players. And their highest total right now is 14 with Jones. But, I mean, you don't really need a high score. You just need a lot of players to be able to score the basketball. That's really what you're getting with GW. And this Fordham team, they have the ability to do that, but they haven't really done that throughout these first 20 minutes. I mean, I just mentioned the highest score, 5 points with Dede Reeves, and then a lot of your other star players have just really not found themselves in the scoring column.
I agree with all of that. I think hopefully, look, maybe, like as I said earlier, Fordham's a come from behind kind of team where they're able to get back into the game. They're down by a lot. I won't deny that, but sports it's a crazy thing. It's moments, memories. Who knows what could happen in any game. That's what happens when we are in March. Hopefully, maybe Fordham gets that burst of energy in them, that second win that some people say a runner's high, where they're on the court and they feel so enthused, maybe just by telling them, like, look, if we can get to this tournament, if we can get far into this tournament, who knows what could happen in March. This team I really do see it in them. I think even if it's not this season, they're in a step of the right direction. But I think for now, that's all we have for us right here at halftime. You can catch us again at Postgame to hear us what happens with this game. We're going to send it back to Chris and Joe in Pittsburgh, the Steel City, the city of many bridges. Good luck to you guys.
I'm Kurt Sippel, telling you to tune into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. Catch us live every Saturday on our WFUV Sports YouTube Live from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and later on 90.7 WFUV from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We break down the week's latest headlines with our collection of tri-state area beat reporters, along with interviews with your favorite athletes and media personalities. WFUV is your home to talk all things New York sports.
Here at PPG Paints Arena, the scene of the second round of the A-10 tournament. We're at halftime of the first 11:30 matchup. The Fordham Rams not doing well in their first half. They trail massively, 38-17 after 20 minutes of play. It was all GW. And if it's going to start with anybody, and if something's going to happen that's special in this second half, Fordham's going to get back in this game, it's going to be Dede Reeves. Chris Carrino, joined by my partner, Joe Henry. Joe, Dede Reeves has to be the guy, the engine for what could be something special in this second half. Dede's the leading scorer in the conference, averaging 17.7 a game. He was first team All-MAC last season, second team All-A-10 this season. He has been the marquee guy for Fordham, the guy that's been there when they've needed it most. And Joe, I'm not sure if the Fordham Rams have ever needed it more than right now.
And I've never seen a Fordham Ram show up as consistently as he has, especially late in games. He scored 10 or more points every single game this season. 30 straight games, 15 or more in 23 of those 31 games, and yet just 5 points in the first half, 2 of 8 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. He even missed a free throw, something he almost never does. He has only 1 assist. Fordham only has 2 as a team. 2 rebounds that were big ones, but other than that, it's been ugly. 38-17, down 21. For me, with Reeves, I agree. I mean, he's the start and end to this offense. There's just not quite enough talent and enough experience, especially in a big high-pressure moment, for this team to come back from a moment like this. It has to be on the shoulders of Reeves. He's taken a lot on his shoulders this year. He's going to need a whole lot to save his college career here in the last 20 minutes. The recipe to do that, though, it doesn't come from shooting. You think down 21, you got to shoot yourself back into the game. If you have open looks for Jacobs, for a core, go for it. Maybe for Dede, occasionally Chris Henry if he's wide open, but other than that, it's got to be getting inside. Because once you penetrate inside, you suffocate and you funnel inside the defense, you're going to create looks in the outside, or just get to the line. I mean, that's the big thing for Reeves. This Fordham team had taken 20-plus free throws in 5 of their last 7 games. They've only taken 5 so far today. Reeves has taken 2. I think he needs to be uber aggressive. Just seek out contact. You get to the line, that's a good possession. Because this team, more often than not, has been scoreless on possessions. If you just get to the line, even on a missed shot, just force your way to the free throw line. That's the recipe to just slowly inching back in this game, and it has to be Data Reeves to do it.
And Joe, we've harped on almost ad nauseum now the lowlights of Fordham, the highlights of GW. It's been Christian Jones. We've obviously talked about Rafael Castro, how important he is. The leading scorer aside from Castro, Christian Jones, he's 5 for 6 from the field, 3 for 4 from the three-point line.
He was the leading scorer last time these two teams played, and he's looked even better in the supplementary role to Castro, where he's just in his own element.
Kira Jacobs, top of the arc, takes a 3 to start us off. No good. And that's how our second half will start. Wide open from straight on. It was no good.
Good look. Fordham's got maybe 10 good looks in this game. Not a lot, but they haven't made pretty much any of them.
It's Jones, as we talked about. Drifting over to the left wing. GW operating offensively. To Hunger, right corner. Guarded by Rika Schulte. Now backing down Schulte, right post. Picked up on a double team. Back out to Arengern. Arengern deep on the right wing. Now on the right baseline. 12 feet from the basket. Out to Hunger. His 3. It's good. Nothing but nylon for Luke Hunger. And he was wide open on the right wing and got that one to fly. It's now 41-17 GW. Their biggest lead of the game. 19 minutes to go. To Bodija. Top of the arc. Bodija dribble handoff to Jacobs. Jacobs at the top of the arc. Plays it to Christian Henry, left wing, inside to Bodija. Bodija backing down Castro, left block, spinning right. Right-handed hook, goes! Doing his best Rika Schulte impression. Abbas Bodija with a much-needed bucket.
Need way more from the front court offensively. Bodija and Schulte both took home all-conference honors this last week. Co-rookie of the week and co-player of the week. They need to be aggressive inside and bring some scoring.
Jones faking left around Castro, going right to Arengern on the baseline. Arengern falls, and he picks up a tripping foul. It'll be a tripping foul on the baseline, and GW will hold on to it in the front court.
It's very interesting to see what Fordham does defensively. We saw Schulte draw the matchup on Hunger instead of Castro to start the second half. Other than that, are they going to run more man or more zone in the half court, and what are they going to scheme up to pull down more rebounds?
And I could be wrong, Joe. You could pay more attention to this in the next couple possessions. It feels like Abbas Bodija is almost shadowing Castro here.
Yeah, I mean, they are very similar in terms of body type and physicality.
He tries to drive inside on Bodija. Bodija pokes it away. Castro gets it back. Out to Arengern, to Johnson now, straight on. Pump fakes, drives right side of the lane. Out in the left corner. Christian Jones dribbling. Thought you get a shot. Then ends up taking it. Left corner 3, no good at the end of the shot clock. Defensive rebound brought down by Fordham. Abbas Bodija slow to get up on the other end. And a foul there. That one's on Johnson on Rika Schulte. Almost fell on Rika Schulte in transition. Bodies everywhere.
Small development, Chris, but Garrett Johnson gets the second half start over Trey Autry, who kind of struggled to start the second half, and he's not even going to sub in on the first sub. They're going to bring in Dinkins.
He was holding the back of his right leg. Seems to be walking a little gingerly coming off. Not sure if that's strategical or an injury situation.
It's interesting because Autry is their second best player, even though he's been quiet. And when these teams met last year in this same round of the tournament, it was Trey Autry who hit 7 threes to send Fordham home, including 3 in the last 2.5 minutes.
And Joe, some extracurriculars on the inbound. It was Berger, or I shouldn't say Berger, Hunger, Luke Hunger, getting a little physical. Rika Schulte, he picks up the foul. Momentum turning for the Rams. Schulte now has it. Top of the arc, guarded by Hunger. Right to left crossover, drive the middle of the lane. Power dribbles, doesn't get the shot to go. Bodija on the second chance. Bodija back-to-back scores for the Rams.
First time I think they've done that all game. That's this team settling in. Schulte missing the hook shot. He should have made it. Instead of going for the tip, he let Bodija have it because Bodija had a clear shot at it. Really smart play. It shows that this team is starting to get comfortable.
Kira Jacobs helping on Castro on the defensive end. He picks up a reach-in foul. Fordham slowing the game down there. Probably didn't want to do that. But also, as you've said multiple times this afternoon, Joe, not a terrible foul.
Yeah, 2 early fouls, both of these sides, first 2+ minutes. Something to watch for. Neither of these teams got into the bonus early in the first half. Could that play a role in the second?
Played up top to Arengern. Arengern guarded by Christian Henry, the Eastern Michigan transfer. Pass to Jones, left wing. Jones driving through the middle of the lane, right-handed skyhook, no good, and Fordham gets the defensive rebound. Those are vital for this Fordham team trying to come back. Christian Henry Behind the back dribble, Rieke Schulte, top of the key, lost the ball, and it's picked up by Jones. Arenguren now going the other way for GW to Dinkins, right wing, inside to Castro, right block, faces up Bodija, and is blocked by Bodija at the rim. Rieke Schulte on the right baseline holding his knee and seems to be in a whole lot of discomfort. Not holding his knee in a serious injury way. He's helped up to his feet, but maybe a knee on knee or a knee on court action. He's gingerly walking up after the play.
Yeah, it's his right knee. He's been the Iron Man for this Fordham team. He's played and started in all 31 games. He gives a thumbs up to Coach Magpie, says, I'm good, I'll stay in. It's been tough offensively for Schulte because he's starting to get double teamed, which I think is something that GW might have scouted for. Not something that happened to Schulte a whole lot during the season as Castro makes his first. But when he gets double teamed, he's a guy who's comfortable with the ball in his hands. He can facilitate a little bit, but he is turnover prone. And it was a big issue for the team early in the year. It wasn't down the stretch, but GW has really made things difficult and uncomfortable for him. And a lot of times when he gets the ball in the high post, I mean, he is the heliocentrism of this offense, and everything's orbiting around him, and he's the guy who has to make a play, and they're making it really tough on him.
I don't need word of the day toilet paper. I should just hang out with Joe Henry. He'll give me a new one every single day. The free throw was good. 2-for-2 trip for Castro. A guy only shooting 63% from the line on the year. It's a 22-point lead for GW. Bullet pass fired inside to a finishing Akira Jacobs at the rim. What vision, what a pass from Rieke Schulte. Schulte, a front court guy who can use his vision as well. Played a lot of guard growing up. Arenguren going left around a screen, kicks it out, finds Autry, gets it to Marshall. Marshall guarded by Akira Jacobs, right block. Marshall passing it back out. Dinkins, long three, no good. Rimming in and out. Rieke Schulte on the defensive glass. Fordham taking a lot more initiative on the defensive glass. Jarora Core, left elbow. Now gets it to Christian Henry, top of the arc. Goes right around a Schulte screen. Pass inside to Schulte. Schulte gets picked up, gets fouled on the entry into the lane. It was the guarding Gene Arenguren, the Iona and Hofstra transfer, picking up the foul. Former teammate of Day Reeves.
It's going to be a big possession here because Fordham has finally built momentum. Really first time all game. Baseline out of bounds, something that Fordham has done really well in recent games. What are they going to draw up?
Inbounded to Day Reeves. Right corner, 17 on the shot clock, drives inside on Hunger, puts a shot up over Hunger and gets it to go. Day Reeves with a shot over the Montreal native who's at least 6'10", maybe even taller, and Day Reeves with another bucket for Fordham. Fordham now within 18. 16 minutes to go. Pass inside, Autry all alone, who finishes under the basket. Hunger on the perimeter, fired that one under the basket, and Autry couldn't have been more open unless the gym was empty.
Looked like a miscommunication defensively for Fordham, but you got to flush it out and got to stack scores here.
Schulte at the top of the key, passes it, backdoor Day. Day at the rim, finishes under heavy contact. Fordham continuing to score. Autry, right wing, moving quickly for GW the other way. GW trying to get a quick score. 15 and a half to go in the second half of this one. 45-27 GW. Arenguren has it deep on the right wing. Arenguren guarded by Henry, drives inside at the right block, tried a cross-court pass, it was taken away from Reeves. Fordham and Reeves now moving offensively. Reeves, right wing, faking left, going right, out to Jacobs. His left wing three, got it! Akira Jacobs got it! Fordham back within 15, 45-30, 15 minutes to go in this half. What a start to the second half from Coach Mike Magpio's crew.
5 makes in a row. Trying to land their punch here and getting the bench into the game for the first time. Can you get a stop?
Autry at the left wing, up top to Dinkins. He likes to fire him. Drives left of the lane, in the left corner, pass to Autry, no good on the three. On the left side of the rim, rebound brought down by Fordham. Fordham stacking scores and stops. Henry in the left corner, Jacobs three, no good off front rim. Rebound brought down by Marshall. Marshall has it for the GW, tried to play it ahead, and it's stolen by Fordham. A foul on the steal as well. Arenguren tried to get it back from Schulte after the steal, and he picked up a foul in the backcourt. Joe, as you said, reach-in fouls in the backcourt, never what you want to see, especially when you're not trying to give a team momentum.
Absolutely. Third foul of the half. If Fordham can get into the bonus late in this game and just claw it closer, I mean, those free throw shots make a big difference. The question, can you make them? Fordham 1 of 5 from the free throw line so far. But let's focus on the field, because that's something where they really struggled first half. Sub 30% from the field, but they had made 5 in a row until that Jacobs missed 3, and Mike Magpio told him, hey, calm it down a little bit. I know it's an open look, but it's really early in the shot clock. We want to try and seize this momentum while they're doing that defensively, turning it into offense. Because GW suddenly, I think, is getting a little bit tense here. And they've had some ugly turnovers. That one in the fast break, just trying to force a pass where you didn't have a man. And Schultz comes over, gets the turnover. If Fordham can turn these turnovers into scores and just sustain this momentum. I mean, this is the first run of the entire game for a Fordham team that lives and dies with the run. They need to find a way after this timeout to regroup and continue this momentum in a way that they haven't all day long.
And Joe, the tide turning is something you can see on the stat sheet, something you can see in the numbers, but Joe, you can more just feel it. You can feel this Fordham team with more of a sense of belief about themselves, and that is just so important to a team's success.
The bench is active, and the body language from the guys on the floor is totally different. And I think that starts and ends with Chris Henry. He's a guy who struggles with body language sometimes. When he's struggling, when the team's struggling, he hasn't been a big piece of this Fordham run here, but how about Akira Jacobs, another guy who can get frustrated with himself and stop shooting after he struggles, but he looks locked in, and we've seen it time and time again. Really, the last month, Jacobs growing as a leader vocally. He will come off the bench when he's struggling, and he will just yell at a teammate. Not angry, just trying to hype him up, and he's been the guy through everything, him and Rikas Schulte, that will try and get this group going. Now the results are starting to follow. Can they build off of that and get the bench involved too, which is a really underrated facet of this game? And how about the crowd? Fordham hasn't played in front of a lot of big crowds. There's a lot of kids in the building, kids that haven't built allegiances yet. Give them something to cheer for here. Get the crowd behind you.
A big comeback like this might make some Fordham fans for life in the arena. Also had to give some love. You gave love to Jack Whipple, or you gave love to Rikas Schulte and a few of the other big men who have done a good job hyping this team up. Jack Whitborn has done a fantastic job. Jack Whitborn, the starting five for this team. He's been injured through almost the entire season. He has been the loudest voice I hear, hyping up his team, giving his team positive reaffirmation. Jack Whitborn, even though he isn't on the floor, is doing a good job of leading this squad.
It's ironic because that might be the biggest thing that Fordham is missing with Whitborn out. In a game where against this team last time, Whitborn had a double-double and dominated on the glass, and Fordham had a plus 18 advantage, and now Fordham is losing the rebounding battle by 15 for Whitborn. And by the way, Fordham 7-2 in rebounding in the second half, so much better second half. Yeah, you miss Whitborn's rebounding, you miss that he can score 10 points a game for you, but his vocality on a really quiet team to be that leader when he's in the game, that's something that this team is also missing, especially in a big playoff moment.
Vocality. Love that. I could use that. That's a really tangible word to use that I just haven't heard. Fordham has it offensively, nonetheless. Schulte, backdoor pass to Dede Reeves. Dede under the basket, guarded by Boo Boo. Out to Schulte. Pump fakes, stops at the right elbow, continues to take a few steps, and finishes at the rim. Left-handed hook is good, and the patented move of Rikas Schulte gets Fordham back within 13.
It's his first make of the game. That's huge. Huge for his confidence because you need his scoring punch, especially down the stretch where he's a clutch scorer.
Dinkins faking left, going right. Cross-court pass, Marshall. Marshall driving inside, straight from the left wing. Gets inside, no good on the shot, but an awkward physical move from him leads to a foul from Fordham. A foul on Fordham, a reach-in, and GW will go to the line.
And now you have to start foul watching, not just for the bonus because that could play a role, but foul trouble. Chris Henry has 3. Now, the offense has done really well without him being involved. So it's not the end of the world that he has 3 fouls, but especially down the stretch, Dede Reeves, he's not a guy who gets fatigue, but if he has to be the guy bringing it up every single possession and the guy initiating, being the head of the snake defensively, that's an issue. So he needs to stay in the game. Roar Core, another guy, a glue guy who usually doesn't start the game, but will finish it, has 3 fouls. He's gotten to the foul trouble a lot in the past month. You need him on the floor. His shooting, his presence, his energy, and his length as well.
Miss on the first one there from Marshall. Score stays the same, 45-32. That reminds me of in high school, Joe, our rival in high school, Manasquan High School. They had this rule that had gone decades and decades where they wouldn't let freshmen start on their team. In my freshman year, they had a freshman named Ben Roy. Ben ended up playing at BU. They lost their conference final to Lehigh yesterday. he was on that team, they would sub him on, Joe, first whistle of the game.
Yeah.
First stop of ball, he would be subbed in. It seems like a similar situation with Rorik Core. A 0 for 2 trip to the line from GW. That is special. Day Reeves, deep on the right wing. Now at the top of the arc on the A-10 logo. Pass inside to a cutting Schulte. Schulte at the rim, no good, but he'll go to the line for 2. GW 0 for 2 on their trip to the line, and now Fordham with a chance.
7-0 run, last 2:22. You're going to the line. These are huge shots to keep and just sustain what you've started to build here, especially for a team that went 1 for 5 from the line in the first half. Rieke Schulte was 0 for 2 in his trip. He needs to make these for his own confidence and for the team's.
Rieke Schulte at the line. Good on the first. A slingshot-like approach for Rieke Schulte. Might not look the prettiest, but that one was absolute nylon.
Chris, he's got a free throw form for radio.
He has a free throw form for radio. Love that. Schulte on the second. Gets it to go. Fordham within 11. If you don't think this comeback is real, I hate to tell you it is.
It was 24, now it's 11. Can you keep it going?
Jones guarded tightly by Marcus Green. Deep on the right wing. Cross-court pass. Autry pump faking Day Reeves. Takes the 3, and it rims out. The lack of luck continues for GW, and that's going to be a foul on the rebound. Abbas Bodija securing the rebound and picking up a foul. Every guy on the bench for Fordham standing up. They love the effort from their boys.
I mean, he goes down, he's holding his elbow, maybe his right shoulder. He gets up, he looks like he'll be okay. That's even better than securing that rebound. You get a foul, too. You inch closer to the bonus, and this momentum keeps coming. How about this in terms of something that tells you that this is real? What's happening right now? Trey Autry at 7 threes to end Fordham's season a year ago. He had a wide-open look there to end that run and to really say, no, this is our game. For that to go in and out in the way it did, it's almost poetic.
He took almost a comedic beat before shooting it as well.
What's been the story all year? This year is not last year. It's something entirely different. That's what Fordham's trying to show here these last 12 minutes.
And Schulte with a really inerrant lob pass, and it's taken away. GW took it away in the front court. They're now in the front court. Jones, deep on the left wing. Christian Jones. The Connecticut native guarded by Marcus Green. Going right around a Castro screen. Middle of the lane. Floater goes. GW offense quiet for a while. That was a much-needed bucket from the Connecticut native.
You're not going to hold them scoreless for 13 minutes. This team scores over 80 a game. But how do you respond off a make? How do you stay composed?
Henry in the middle of the lane with speed. No good at the rim. Following the Euro step, but he'll go to the line for 2.
And now Reeves is shaking up.
Yeah, Christian Henry having a little trouble putting any sort of weight on that right knee. Seems like he's okay. He's walking on it. And will walk to the free throw line where he stands now. A little scary on that first step after the fall. Looked like he couldn't put any weight on.
It looks like Reeves' right quad. Maybe he took an elbow there. He's going to have some bruising tomorrow. You can hope that's it. You don't want it to be anything more underlying than that. But that's huge because his first step often is with that right foot. And he needs to have that burst.
Right. Day Reeves at the line. We talked about it earlier. Missed a free throw earlier. Has been so good at the line all season long. Makes that one. Coming into this one, shooting 98 for 114 free throw attempts he's taken this season. That is very, very, very impressive. 86%. If you want it in percent form, Joe.
And for a guy who's started to take a much higher volume of free throws the past month and a half, and in games where Fordham has won, in games where Fordham has come back, it's been because Day gets to the free throw line. It gives your team a moment to breathe. It's 2 free points because you know he's going to make them. No broadcaster jinx. Thank goodness he made the second. Looked like it was going out for a second. Got a little scared.
Also, Joe, Day turned the ball over earlier, and you start talking about if the ball might not be inflated enough. That's how good this guy is. So I don't know if the broadcaster jinx will get to a guy like number 2. Nonetheless, 47-36 after the free throws, 11-point lead for GW. Castro, left block, spinning right, baseline side, and finishing on the other side of the rim with a reverse. That's what that guy does. Day Reeves, deep on the right wing. A 13-point deficit for the Rams. 11:38 to go in the half and the game. Akira Jacobs gives it to Marcus Green, the Hawaii teammates, former Hawaii teammates. Green to Rieke Schulte, straight on, takes a 3. No good off left side of rim, and rebound brought down from a soaring Aaron Gurin. Aaron Gurin playing it ahead to Jones. Jones slowing it down slightly. Takes it to the left wing. Back out to Autry. Autry with bright pink Anthony Edward Tuzon to Aaron Gurin, right wing. Aaron Gurin fakes left on a Castro screen, gets it to Castro, and it'll be a foul in the lane, a reach-in foul on the Rams.
It's going to go against Reeves. He was at the top of the 2-3 zone. Just wanted to reach in there on the touch in the middle on Castro. I'm sure that's how they drew it up. Castro's going to draw two on the interior. He's going to draw another guard coming in trying to rip the ball away when he gets the touches. Look, he's going to get his. He's up to 8 points now at the bucket on the last play, but just continuing to make things difficult. Even if you're committing fouls, you don't want to commit too many. You don't want to get into the bonus too early, but just making it so that this team can't get any kind of rhythm offensively. I think that goes a long way against a GW team that gets a ton of assists, pushes it in fast break, likes to get early looks. They haven't been able to do that the last 10 minutes of the game.
Fordham slowly but surely crawling back and clawing back into this one. They trail 49-36, 11:05 to go in this second half. We're going to send it back to the Rose Hill Studios for another one-on-one scoreboard update with Anthony Smith. Take it away, Anthony.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Well, we've got you covered with A-10 basketball, so let's kick it to the NBA. In the Big Apple, the Knicks with a road win against the Utah Jazz last night, coming away with a 134-117 victory. New York continues their road stand tomorrow night in Indiana for an Eastern Conference Finals rematch, tip-off at 7:30 p.m. From NYC to Brooklyn, the Nets begin a two-game road stand in Atlanta. Brooklyn is coming off a loss to one of the best teams in the NBA in the Detroit Pistons. Now the Nets look to get back on track in tonight's 7:30 contest against the Atlanta Hawks. Surveying the rest of the league, I would stay glued to the TV. A couple of heavyweight bouts in action tonight, starting with the Denver Nuggets and the San Antonio Spurs. Jokic and Wemby, two possible MVP candidates. Are you not entertained? Tip-off at 9 p.m. from San Antonio. It doesn't stop there as the Thunder play host to the Celtics. Boston's coming off their first loss with Jason Tatum against San Antonio and now face another top team in Oklahoma City. Once again, another game with more MVP potential. SGA tries to lead the Thunder to their 7th straight win, while Jaylen Brown and the Celtics try to play spoiler on the road. 9:30 p.m. tip from the Paycom Center. And closing out the NBA action, the Lakers hosting the Bulls, where Luka Doncic attempts to continue the hot handle. Averaging just over 36 points in his past 3 contests, Doncic has kept the Lakers in the win column with the absence of LeBron James and now seeks to continue that streak. 10:30 p.m. tip from Los Angeles. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Back here in Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Joe Henry is joining me. I'm Chris Carrino. It's great to be here at PPG Paints Arena, the host of the A-10 tournament. We're here in the second round, matchup between Fordham and GW. Joe, it has been one with trials and tribulations, and now with the final 11 minutes in front of us, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, down 21 at the half, down 24 with 19-19 left in the second half. Remember that figure, 24. Now it's 13. It was as slim as 11. This singular possession to me is one of the biggest of the game. Fordham on defense, the difference between having it down 13 with some momentum, some wind at your sails, and having it down 15 after GW makes 2 successful offensive possessions in a row. I mean, there's a huge difference there. These next 3 minutes, huge. Can you get to the under 8 media timeout with more momentum than you have now?
Aaron Gurin gets it to Johnson. Johnson has the top of the key. Guarded by Bodija. Tries to get it inside. He does to Castro, and Castro gets a shot up and gets a foul call.
Foul's on Chris Henry. That's his 4th.
Yeah, Christian Henry picking up his 4th foul, both his hands on the top of his head, and he's trying to call off his coaching staff as to not sub him in, but I don't really know if he can do like I know he can do that, but I don't know if that's the right move. Still 11 minutes left. He only has one more foul to give. Castro at the line for 2 now for GW.
I mean, he can't believe it.
Makes the first.
He has to come out. I mean, this again. Think about the emotions of this game. This could be his last game.
And that's not how you wanted to lose a lot of your second half here.
Especially when you have 2 points, 1 for 4 shooting. He's really struggled.
Castro makes the second as well. A 15-point lead for GW. Fordham's got to work, and they've got to work fast. 10:56 to go in this second half. Day operating for the Fordham offense. Has the top of the arc. Drifts over to the left wing. In the left corner. Green three. Got it! Marcus Green once again. When the Rams need it most, he's always there. Fordham Rams back within 11, or back within 12 rather. 51-39, 10.5 to go in regulation. Castro inside all alone, finishing under the basket. Some miscommunication defensively there leads to a Castro bucket.
Yeah, the defense really hasn't looked good last 5 or 6 minutes, but the offense has picked up. Marcus Green, I hope it's not last to history what he's doing right now. To have his best game on the biggest stage.
Bowditch gets it to Day Reeves. Day Reeves drifting over to the right wing. To Green, left wing, another three. No good, but he's fouled. Marcus Green going to the line for 3 free throws. And what a game Marcus Green has had up to this point. Easily the best he's had in white and maroon. He has his team going to the line with a chance to be within 11 again.
Again, another guy playing for his career. Season hasn't gone the way he wanted it to. 2 years ago, he had a fantastic season with Hawaii. He used to play at Panola Community College with Chris Henry. They come all the way back here, playing their last season here at Fordham. He's in his last game. He's been in and out of the rotation all year long, has struggled at points to be trending upwards the last 3 weeks, and to have maybe his best game of the entire season, certainly most impactful, being a spark plug to an offense that's badly needed it in this moment is just huge.
As he misses the first free throw. Also to keep a keen eye on as well. 2 guys on the floor for the Rams with 3 fouls. One of them just subbed out. Abbas Bowditch hitting the bench. He has 3 fouls, not trying to pick up his 4th. Another guy in there for Fordham with 3 fouls. Rohrer Core. You do not want to see a Rohrer Core foul if you're Coach Mike Magpaya. That free throw good as well. 2 for 3 at the line for Marcus Green. He has his team back within 12. 53-41, 10 minutes to go in this second half. Possibly the last 10 minutes of either of these team seasons. Fordham's got to fight to get back in this one. Dinkins in the left corner. Jones spinning baseline side. Gets it to Castro. Castro using the body. Out to Johnson. Straight on 3. No good. He misses again. Johnson continuing to miss from three-point land. That's his 3rd miss. Day Reeves around a Schultz screen. At the top of the key. Now straight on. Gives it to Rohrer Core, left wing. Dribble handoff to Jacobs. Back up top, Day Reeves. Day settles the offense. Guarded by the much bigger Castro. Now by Johnson, in the lane, all the way to the left block and finishes at the rim with the reverse layup with the right hand. Day Reeves. It's now a 10-point lead for GW, 53-43, 9 minutes left. Castro, top of the arc. Traveled, didn't get called. Back out to Jones. Jones right wing. Using the body. Spins out. Back out. It's stolen by Day Reeves. Reeves has it in the backcourt. Fordham down 10 with the ball. They were down 24 in the first half. Right to left crossover. Middle of the left side of the lane. Finishes at the rim. Day Reeves and the Fordham Rams are storming back into Steel City. It's now an 8-point deficit. Timeout. GW, they need to talk it over. Fordham trail by 8, 53-45, 8:43 to go in this second half.
What did we say at the top of the half, Chris? It has to be Day. If you want to come back, down 24 with 19-19, it has to be on Day, as it's been all year. And it has been. 5 points, 2 of 8 shooting first half. He's got 10 points already in the second half. He's doing it all. He's doing it in every kind of way. He's leading this team from defense, gets a steal, coast to coast, offense, the tough finish, reverse layup with your right hand on the left side of the basket over a big man to pull you within 8, to force a GW timeout. Now you've got the leverage.
The comeback kids, Joe. They've done it a few times so far this season. The analogy, the very famous analogy, Joe, you dig a hole, then you have to sit in it. That's very true for this Fordham team. Fordham finds themselves not able to get off to really hot starts in the beginning of games. They find themselves in really deep holes. But there's something, Joe, about the character of this group that is resilient beyond belief. We're seeing that this afternoon.
They dig a hole, they got to sit in it, but they got a shovel. And his name's Day Reeves. And time again, he scoops out the dirt, puts it on top, and carves out a path for this team to find its way back to the surface. Still work to do, still an 8-point game, but this is Day Reeves and potentially his last game putting the finishing touches on what has been a masterwork of a collegiate career.
8 minutes and 43 seconds for the Fordham Rams and Coach Mike Magpaio to do something special. They're down by 8, 53-45. As I said, 8:43 to go in this second half. As we've mentioned a few times, they were down 24 in the first half, and they've stormed all the way back. It has been a lackluster GW team down the stretch as well. You see Hunger and the rest of the boys standing above the GW players on the floor in the huddle. They're trying to clap frantically to get this GW team in some sort of mood, in some sort of energy. This Fordham team with as much momentum as they've had all season as well.
Absolutely, and the big difference in this half, besides Day Reeves, it's the rebounding. Fordham was getting tripled up on the glass. Now they're still down 13. The deficit, as Chris Henry reads an ESPN notification that Miami, Ohio's undefeated season's over. That's crazy. I had to try not to react to that, but Fordham's trying to do something even crazier, and it starts on the glass, where the team effort has been exceptional in the second half after being awful in the first, and they found ways. It hasn't even been Schulte grabbing all the boards per se, but Roar Core coming in there. Kira Jacobs, your guards, getting Day Reeves on the glass where he can get a rebound and get out quickly and start the offense for this team. That's been the big difference, because GW had 14 second chance points, I believe, at the half. Well, they got 14 second chance points through 12 minutes of the second half.
Fordham on the precipice of something really, really, really special for Coach Mike Magpaio and their group. As Joe briefly mentioned, shout out the former A-10's UMass getting the massive win in the MAC championship quarterfinal, picking up an 87-83 victory over the nation's only mid-major, only undefeated team, period, Miami, Ohio. Now we get back to action here in Pennsylvania. Castro, top of the arc, 8.5 to go. Drives right side of the lane, then stops at the right elbow, poked away by Day Reeves. Day Reeves was there on the help, and he poked it away. A steal for number 2, and now he has the ball deep on the right wing. Chance for the Rams to get as close as 5. Now drifting over to the left wing. Reeves to Akira Jacobs, right wing. Reeves gets it to Schulte. Schulte in the right corner. Fakes the handoff. Drives middle of the lane. Picked up by Castro. Spinning. Back out to Reeves. 5 on the shot clock. On the right wing. Takes a 3. No good. Off the right side of the rim. And GW's on the rebound. GW. Aaron Gurin back out to Jones. Jones in the right corner to Marshall. Marshall drives baseline. Kicks it back out to Jones. 15 on the shot clock. GW a little bit stagnant. Jones picked up by a core. Cross-court pass. Left corner to Dinkins. He'll fire. No good. Toilet bowling in and out. Dinkins, not a guy who's going to hesitate. Didn't there. Pass up ahead to Marcus Green, who finishes it at the rim. The Rams are within 6. The Fordham bench and Fordham faithful behind the bench are amped up. 7.5 to go. 53-47 GW lead. Marshall up top. Aaron Gurin guarded by Marcus Green. On the left wing. Aaron Gurin to Castro. Gets it to Castro. Almost stolen by Schulte. Backdoor pass to Marshall, who finishes it with 2 hands at the rim. A slam for GW mitigates the damage. They're up 8. 7 minutes to go. 55-47 Revolutionaries.
The alternative there would have been a core picking up his 4th foul, so I like it. Just keep the momentum on offense. The other team's going to score. They score 80-plus a game.
Day out of the left wing to Marcus Green, right wing. Driving right side of the lane on Dinkins. Spin around, fadeaway mid-ranger, no good off front rim. Schulte there on the second chance. Fordham working again, puts up a shot. No good at the rim. Day Reeves was wide open in the right corner. And I mean wide open.
And that was the ball side as well. I mean, it was just an easy pass right to Reeves. That's brutal.
Aaron Gurin standing on the semicircle logo at midcourt to Dinkins, left corner. Gets it into Marshall. He'll play out of the left block. Cross-court pass. Jones 3. No good. Off the right and then the left side of the rim. Jones really hot in that first half. He simmered. Day Reeves now has it on the right wing. Fordham with still a major chance in front of them. Right to left crossover to Schulte. Straight on. Left corner pass. Akira Jacobs 3 goes. The Hawaii transfer gets Fordham within 5 now. 55-50, 6 minutes to go in this A-10 second rounder. Dinkins drives right side of the lane, back out to Marshall. GW trying to put the pieces together offensively. Out to Dinkins. Dinkins has it on the center court logo. Guarded by Day Reeves. Trying to dance on Day. Into Marshall now, right block. Picked up on the double team. Doesn't know what to do with it. 2 seconds on the shot clock and gets a shot to go. like you throw your laundry in the bin at the end of the day. With one hand, Marshall puts up a shot and gets it to go at the end of the shot clock. What a shot for the Revolutionaries.
Again, can't let defense affect offense. Got to keep your head up, keep the momentum going.
Day through the middle of the lane, gets a shot to go, plus the foul! The Syracuse native, the former Iona transfer, the New York basketball legend, gets Fordham now back within 5 on the N1. This Fordham Ram team with as much heart in this conference, and they're showing it in the second session, in the first game of the afternoon. Joe?
17 points, 7 of 14 from the field after a 2 of 8 start. When you think resiliency, you think Day Reeves, and you think this Fordham team that's been through it all. NCAA probe last year, you fired your coach, you had an awful year. You had a brutal loss to GW. This very team last year in this very round of this very tournament, full new team. 3 players, effectively 4, leave the program mid-season. You really struggle to start out. You open up A-10 play 1-6. But isn't it fitting that this team, that this group that's been through so much is finding a way here in the last moment, and if nothing else, they can be really proud of what they're doing right now. But it's not time for moral victories. This team is chasing a victory and actually has a chance.
The moral victories have already been attained. This team can go home and know they put up just a heck of an effort this afternoon. But that's not what they're thinking, as you just said, Joe. This team wants to go win this ball game. They were down 24. That's a pretty improbable spot. Down 5 with 5 minutes left, that's not an improbable spot. That's where Fordham finds themselves. 57-52, GW leads with 5:17 left to go in this second half. And Joe, we've talked a lot about the highlights of the Fordham Rams in a similar fashion to we talked about their lowlights earlier in the game. We didn't talk a ton about just how far this GW team has crumbled in this last couple of minutes. That's been a big reason for the Fordham resurgence.
And it's ugly, but the big reason, Chris, it starts and ends with a 3 for this GW team. And the second chances were big. They had 14 second chance points first half. They have 0 in the second half. But from 3 specifically, a team that shoots it pretty much as well as anyone in the conference. They have a couple shooters in Autry and Dinkins who shoot as well as anyone in the country, really. 1 for 8 in the second half. And a lot of these looks, to be honest, a little bit of it is luck. 1 of 8, they've missed maybe 4 shots that were wide open, but you take it. And this GW team, you can see with the body language, I mean, they're frustrated, they're confused, they're worried, and Fordham's playing with all the confidence in the world.
Fordham down 24 in the first half. They now find themselves within 5. GW leads 57-52, 5:15 to go on this second half clock. We're going to send it to the Rose Hill Studios with Anthony Smith for one more scoreboard update. Take it, Ant.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
And it only continues later today. Right after this Fordham game concludes, George Mason and St. Bonaventure hit the hardwood. The Patriots not only with a dominant win against the Bonnies last time, but also in their last game against the number 1 seed in St. Louis. St. Bonaventure, after winning yesterday against LaSalle, seek an upset win against the number 5 seeded George Mason Patriots. 2 p.m. tip-off in the PBJ Paints Arena. In the middle of the day, Rhode Island and Duquesne ready to battle it out. Rhode Island with their eyes set on a different ending than last year, where they lost in the first round of the tournament to Fordham. Now Rhode Island looks to start their journey as the 10 seed against the number 7 seed Duquesne. The winner of this one will face off against the reigning A-10 champs in the VCU Rams. Tip-off scheduled for 5 p.m. And the final game of the second round, it's Loyola Chicago and Davidson. The Ramblers sit at the bottom of the A-10 but are coming off a win yesterday against Richmond. Come March, anything can happen, and Loyola Chicago knows secondhand about that motto. Final game from Pittsburgh is scheduled for a 7 p.m. tip-off. With your one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Anthony Smith.
Aaron Gurn gets caught on the offensive end, back out to Castro. GW working offensively, 3 on the shot clock. Jones puts up a floater, no good. And it's going to be a shot clock violation and just one of the better defensive efforts we've seen all afternoon from the Fordham Rams. They have the ball now, down 4 with 4:46 left in the second half. Joe, a spot that when they were running out of the tunnel for the second half, I don't even think they thought was possible. Day Reeves bringing it up for the Rams. As I said, Rams down 4. 4:40 to go in the second half. Day Reeves, top of the arc. Now drifting over to the left wing, guarded by the much bigger Marshall. To Christian Henry now. He's got 4 fouls. He's got to be careful. Day Reeves, left wing, going left around a Schultz screen. Now guarded by the much bigger Benjamin. Step over to Jacobs. Left wing 3, blocked. Blocked by Castro, and Jacobs with a heavy foul in the backcourt. Maybe a tad of frustration there.
Maybe the third three-pointer that's been blocked from Fordham.
That's crazy.
But that's how good GW's three-point defense has been, that Fordham's really just had to throw them up there, and it's really worked in the second half. They've taken contested ones, but that one is a tough one because it gets GW into the bonus. So now it's 1-1 the rest of the way, but again, if Benjamin misses the front end here, that's almost a good thing. He's only a 70% free throw shooter. It could happen, and then you can continue to build on this momentum.
You'd rather that than just a regular reach-in. You get the ball. And he did just that off front rim, but Marshall's there on the rebound. GW gets it. Joe Henry got exactly what he said, and they still didn't corral it. Benjamin, extra pass, left corner, Marshall, right to left crossover, drives baseline, out to Jones. Jones pump fakes, drives inside, puts up a floater, and gets it to go. Jones has struggled in this second half, but down the stretch has gotten the buckets that GW's needed.
It's really tough because Castro will seal off defenders, so Schultz can't be a help defender there. You have to defend him one-on-one.
Henry to the right side of the lane, now on the baseline, the left side of the baseline, to Christian Henry. Henry in the left corner to Rika Schultz. Schultz out of the left block, gets picked up on a double team. Cross-court pass, Roricore wide open 3. Got it! True freshman, nothing but nylon. He gets his Rams back within 3 now. It's now a single possession game. 3.5 to go. Inside PBG Paints Arena. GW working offensively. Armin Gurin guarded deep on the right wing by Akira Jacobs. Jones now has it. He resets the offense. Christian Jones guarded by Henry. On the right elbow, pump fake, puts up a floater. It ended up being a pass. Castro got it and finished it. Castro showing his value there. He got a bucket. Day Reeves moving quickly the other way for the Fordham offense. 2:56 to go. Him and Rika Schultz tried the give and go, and it was taken away. GW on the steal, and they have the ball up 5. 61-56.
Mike Magpie motioning to Rika Schultz to slow it down a little bit. Just trying to rush it, trying to create something too early.
2:42 to go in the second half. Armin Gurin out of the right wing to Castro. Castro tries to dribble handoff. It was poked by Rika Schultz. Marshall gets it back. 7 on the shot clock for GW. They've got to work quickly. Marshall goes inside, puts up a shot, no good, and Christian Henry is there on the rebound. Not sure if it'll be a foul. It will be. That'll be a foul on Castro.
It's almost a bad thing for this Fordham team because they're still moving with so much motion. They're creating great looks offensively. Even that turnover from Schultz, if he had made a better pass there, it would have been a wide open layup for Day. Instead, it's a 1-1 for Chris Henry, who's the team's worst free throw shooter. So he really needs to make at least the first here to just keep the momentum going for Fordham.
A timeout here on the floor. I think it's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay here. Not great as well with extra time, a media timeout. Not great with extra time for Christian Henry to think about the free throws he's about to take.
Yeah, you want him to just get up there and shoot him right away. But in his defense, he'll always joke with Magpio and say, hey, I make him when you need me to make him. And Magpio says, I want you to make him all the time. But to his benefit, Chris Henry's a clutch player. He makes them down the stretch. So in this kind of moment, this is when he's able to, he's not phased in a moment like this. So he might be a bad free throw shooter to start with, but 2:22 to go, trailing by 5 when you need him here, 1-1, especially the front end. I think you trust him more than you would some other guys on this team. But speaking of that, down the stretch for guys that have never played in a moment like this, think about Roricore. He's 18 years old. He's coming over from Australia. I don't believe he had ever been to the States prior to playing here. He was recruited really late, joined this team late. We didn't think he was even going to play all year. There are realities where players stay on this team and Roricore does not play. Instead, he's playing in crunch time in the Atlantic 10 tournament, and he's hitting the biggest 3 of the game to bring you to 1 possession. That's the kind of guys that are on this team that's still being built in its infancy by Magpio, but they're not trying to build towards something. They're trying to accomplish it right now, and that's what they're showing with this comeback.
Yeah, Roricore guy, Coach Mike Magpio and the rest of his crew would love to keep around. If not next year, for the next couple of years, he has been one of the spark plugs for this Fordham team all season long. And there, in the biggest spot, wide open, he connects. And Fordham now still kind of digging themselves in a bigger hole. They're down 5, 2.5 to go. Joe, what are some of the specific tangible things Fordham needs to get done if they want to have a chance to win this one?
I think if you think from an emotional standpoint, a Fordham team that can get kind of rattled in these moments, but also works as well as any team with momentum behind them. That's what we've seen this half, right? Making this crazy comeback. I think it's really huge that Chris Henry makes these free throws, but if he doesn't, how do you respond the very next possession? Because one more bucket from GW on a missed free throw to make it from 5 to 7 or 8, that can be a backbreaker for most teams, but how do you respond if you're forced to the missed free throw? What do you throw out there defensively? You're going to stay in the 2-3 zone? I think they will, but they also have to be careful because Chris Henry has 4 fouls, Roar Core has 3. At this point in the game, 2 minutes to go, you got to lay it out in the line. You got to be aggressive. They cannot be careful with their fouls here. They need to be aggressive defensively. That's what's gotten them back into this game. That's what we need to see here these last 2 minutes.
The most important final 2 minutes and 22 seconds of the Fordham Rams season in the second round of the A-10 tournament. They find themselves down 5 to GW, and with Christian Henry going to the line, these 2 free throws are massive, not only for Henry, but for this Fordham season. Henry on the first. It's good. Henry's free throw numbers have also gotten worse depending on how later in the game it is. Later in the game, his free throw percentage has gotten worse. He makes the first there. Henry on the second. Misses the second. Don't really know if you can classify it as a broadcaster's jinx with Christian Henry. Aaron Gurn, top of the key. Rams trail by 4. 2:11 to go. Aaron Gurn passing to Castro. Rika Schulte loses his footing guarding him, and it'll be a foul. A foul inflicted on Castro. It'll be Akira Jacobs picking up the foul. Akira Jacobs picking up his 3rd there. And GW going to the line. 2:07 to go in the game. GW up 4.
It's pretty incredible how successful Fordham's been at turning GW over because they have been overcommitting so much. With Castro, obviously you have to send multiple, but like Rika Schulte a few times has been, he's just been totally out of the play going for a steal, and yet Fordham has stayed alive.
Castro misses the first 1-and-1. Fordham has it. Fordham has it, down 4, 2:03 to go in regulation. Day Reeves in the Fordham home white at the top of the arc. Fordham going right to left, GW going left to right. Day Reeves right around to Schulte screen, to Christian Henry, left wing, drives inside, spins, out to Reeves. Reeves straight on, guarded by Castro. Fakes left, drives right, to the right side of the lane, finishes at the rim. Day Reeves with a super tough bucket to get his team back within 2. 61-59, 11:33 to go in the second half. Timeout, GW. Fordham not going anywhere, Joe.
Not going anywhere, and it's almost unbelievable. When was the last time that Fordham was down by only 2 points? It was 4-2.
Wow.
4-2. And now it's 61-59. And it's exactly what we said at the top of the half. The only way that this could happen is if Day Reeves has one of those games where he takes over. Legacy on the line, career on the line. From 5 points in the first half, from really struggling shooting the ball, from not getting anything going defensively. 20 points he's up to. 8 of 15 shooting. He's got 4 assists. He's got 3 assists in this half. He's accounting for everything this Fordham team is doing. He's getting the ball, bringing it up every possession down the stretch. A guy who plays a lot of 2-guard is trusted to be the point guard in this moment because he needs to be the guy to lead the charge offensively. And now you're one stop away from having a chance to tie this game or take the lead. Something they haven't done all game.
Fordham trail 61-59. GW with a 2-point lead with 1:33 left. They'll have the ball in the front court. It'll be Arn Gurn inbounding for GW, the Revolutionaries. He's going to try and get into Jones in the backcourt. He does. Jones now enters the front court, guarded by Reeves. Now on the right wing. They're by themselves. Passing the right corner. Marshall back to Jones. Jones, right to left crossover. Now in between 2 defenders. Now at the left elbow. Gets to the left block. Puts up a jumper. No good. Castro on the second chance. No good. But he'll go to the line for 2. He got hacked on that ball, on that shot up to the rim.
You don't hate it because with Castro in 6'11", great frame, great jump. You know he's going to make it off the O-board. He had some good positioning there, so you have to give the foul. Totally fine with that. GW still in just the bonus. This is 2 shots no matter what for Castro, but it's not like you're getting him into the double bonus with that one.
Castro, first at the line, no good. Castro continuing to struggle at the line. He was 4 for 5, or 4 for 4, going into his now last 2 missed free throws.
Chris, as long as Fordham secures the rebounds, they'll have a chance to tie on this possession.
116, yes, 116 to go in this second half. 61-59, GW lead. Castro's free throw, it's good. Castro gets his team up 3. GW with a 3-point lead, 15-13 to go. Day Reeves working for the Fordham offense. Reeves has it on the A-10 logo. Reeves going to drive right on Marshall up top. Christian Henry straight on. Fakes right, goes left. Now guarded by Castro. By themselves on the left wing. Right to left crossover to Bodija in the left corner. Now backing down his defender. Loses the ball out of bounds, and it's LaSalle ball. A really, really, really costly turnover and costly mistake from the redshirt freshman. 50
brutal.
On the shot clock.
It's a tough situation. GW gets the ball for Bodija. I mean, he gets his touch there with 8 seconds on the shot clock and no motion behind him. He kind of has to go to work there, and he just lost it.
It's now going to be a full court inbound for GW and a full court press from the Fordham Rams. It'll be Trey Autry on the baseline, on the right side of the baseline to inbound this one. They have to go the full length of the court.
They have to be really careful not to let Castro leak up the floor here and be open.
It's Autry bringing it up for GW. Not really a press from the Rams. Aaron Gurn in the backcourt, now gets it across half court. Guarded tightly by Marcus Green. 39 on the game clock. A 3-point lead for GW. They're trying to put it away. Aaron Gurn loses the ball. Marcus Green tries to grab it. It's a loose ball at midcourt. No one has it. It'll end up being a held ball. We'll see which way the possession arrow goes.
Is crying for the shot clock here.
And Magpie wants a shot clock violation.
So it's GW ball. They have possession, but what's the shot clock at? Because it's going to be really low.
It's going to be really, really low. 28.4 on the game clock.
They turned the shot clock off after the Marcus Green steal, but he never had full possession. So now the refs have to decide whether GW has it with a full shot clock, which would be almost a death sentence for Fordham, because now the shot clock's turned off with 28.4 to go. They have a 3-point lead. Fordham would have to foul. But if you did not reset the shot clock and continue that, a continued possession for GW, which is what they're looking at, that means that GW off of this jump ball is going to have maybe 2 seconds to work, and then it's Fordham. I mean, this is the game.
I was just about to say, the game and where the game's going to go completely depends on this call right here.
And isn't it fitting, Chris, that Marcus Green, who's the only reason you were in this game through one half of play, the only reason you started to come back in the first few minutes, him and Day Reeves leading the charge, is the one getting the most improbable of steals. I mean, when does an A-10 level guard turn the ball over deep in the half court when all they have to do is dribble the shot clock out before putting up a shot late in the game? That's the only thing on his mind.
What an afternoon for Marcus Green. If you look at his score sheet, it might not be had the craziest game. He still had a boatload of points, including 2 threes, 4 for 6 from the field, but it has truly been by far the most impact he's had on a game all season long.
Not even close. I mean, a guy who had scored 30 in a game once with Hawaii, a guy who was a true 15 points per game scorer, an elite shooter, who has been close to a non-factor at times for this Fordham team, but they call him Cap. He's a leader for this group. And in potentially the last game of his career, he has led this team out of nowhere. He was the 9th or 10th man, and he has been the leader, the steadying presence off the bench to give this team life. And with 30 seconds left, to give this team a chance in a game that they had no chance competing in.
And Joe, even if the shot clock is low here and it's in Fordham's favor, a really lucky inerrant shot quickly from GW almost puts it away entirely for them.
Yeah, and again, they're looking to see if GW still had possession, and if so, what's the shot clock at? If GW did
What's
have
your
possession,
opinion?
I
Watching
think
it as close as
I
you can
don't
be.
think that Marcus Green ever had clean possession. So they're going to give it to GW 7 seconds on the shot clock, which is kind of a lot. I wouldn't have thought there was that much.
And a difference between shot clock and game clock. The shot clock being 7, the game clock being 28.4.
Yep.
So there'll be some time for the Rams, around 21 seconds after the shot clock ends, We've talked about it.
So you don't have to foul.
And we've talked about the factor all afternoon long. They need the rebound.
You just need one stop. You can't lose sight of the rebound.
Yeah.
We'll see if the ball gets to Castro. If it doesn't, you have to account for him on the glass because that's where he's killed you.
And let's set the scene. It'll be Autry in the backcourt. Inbounding for GW. 28.4 seconds on the game clock. 7 on the shot clock. GW up 3. Jones driving quickly into the front court. Gets inside. And a blocking foul. Driving on Akira Jacobs. Akira Jacobs is set. And a blocking foul called. He also blew over Day Reeves in way to get into Akira Jacobs. 2 possible offensive fouls, both not called. Now it'll be free throws for Jones. 23.2 on the game clock.
He's only a 63% shooter. This is huge.
One of the guys you'd want at the line. Christian Jones, good on the first, nothing but nylon. It's now a 4-point lead for GW. 23.2 seconds on the game clock.
Chris, each team now in the double bonus. Each team has 1 timeout.
Jones getting ready for his second. Marcus Green subbing out of this one. That's in favor of Roar Core. Jones on the second. It's good. Nothing but nylon on both. 5-point lead for GW. 23 seconds on the game clock. Fordham needs a score quickly. Christian Henry on the right baseline to Day Reeves. Right wing, drives inside, picks up contact, gets it to go, plus the foul! Day Reeves. Just when Fordham thinks they're down and out, Day says, I'm not done yet. Day on the score before the free throw has his team within 3, 12.7 on the game clock. Wow, Joe.
You might as well put a cape on him. He looked like Superman. Wow. Soaring into contact, plus the finish with English off the glass to keep this team's season alive. He's been Superman. 22 points, 9 of 16 shooting. 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Trying to save this season.
It'll be an interesting lineup out there for GW. Luke Hunger comes in for their premier player, Castro. Day Reeves at the line, trying to cut it to a 2-point deficit. 12.7 on the game clock. Reeves gets it to go. 64-62. 12.7 on the game clock. Marcus Green subbing in for the Rams for defensive purposes. Christian Henry subbing out. Don't want to get him on his last foul. 12.7 on the game clock. GW with a 2-point cushion. Fordham trying to get a stop and score. They're going to have to foul. Fordham, full court press. They're going to have to foul immediately. They trap first, trying to force the turnover. Johnson gets through the trap, splits defenders, and Marcus Green is there on the foul in transition. And
they're calling it 2 shots.
Yeah,
it was a made basket for Arngren, but it was way too far after the foul from Green. But GW is in the double bonus, so the foul on the floor, but 2 shots.
So it'll be.
By the way, the game scoreboard hasn't been ejected or updated, so it looks like it's a 4-point game, but it's a 2-point game.
And that is not correct. Right?
I think I would be stunned if it is.
It's hard, and I'm sure you at home can imagine this. If all the scoreboards, including your phone in front of you, all says 1 score, it's hard for you to then assume it's another score.
They, on the scoreboard, credited the layup to Arngren, but indeed it is 2 shots.
And
or is it just 1?
I think it's going to be just 1. It's an and 1 for Arngren.
That's incredible. That was on
both didn't realize. Fordham playing it quickly offensively. Marcus Green quickly gets a 3 up and gets it to go. The N1 put the nail in the coffin for the Rams. We didn't even realize it.
I can't believe that call. It just happened.
It seemingly just happened. In transition, Marcus Green fouling GW. They get an N1, and that puts it just 2 out of the way for Fordham, and Fordham just couldn't quite claw back. Fordham was down 24 in the first half. They clawed their way all the way back to within single digits in the second half, and they just couldn't quite complete the job. GW wins this one 66-62 over the Fordham Rams. They advance to play the number 1 seed St. Louis in the 3rd round tomorrow. That one will be at 11:30 a.m. Joe Henry, you seem perplexed.
I apologize for the confusion because the referee made that call. Green stripped down on Arngren when he was driving into the paint, but a couple steps before he took the shot. And the referee immediately and very clearly made the symbol that it would be 2. 2 free throws.
Or the 2 goes.
Maybe that's what he was doing?
Maybe.
You think so?
Either way, a confusing end
Brutal.
to just a fantastic basketball game in the A-10 in the Steel City. Day Reeves taking pictures on the court with Trey Autry. I mentioned Autry, a Iona teammate of Day-Day Reeves, and Day-Day Reeves now with Ryan Highland, an arm around him, walking off the floor for possibly the last time at the college basketball level. One of the best Fordham Rams we've seen ever. I can say with my chest out, the best Fordham Ram I've seen in my 4 years here at the academy, at the university. It has been in the academy, going back to high school. It has been an incredible 4 years, Joe, and the Fordham Rams to show that much fight here in their last game of the season, it was fun to see.
So much to be proud of with this team, with the expectations being what they were, with them being considered a laughingstock for everything that happened before the season, early in the season, the loss to open the season to NGIT, for this team to have found a way the way that they did. I mean, it's all credit to the players, the coaching staff. Obviously, what they're building here with Mike Magpie is really special. And we're at the very start of it. And I wish we had another year to watch what year 2 is going to be like up close, but it's going to be special because I think they're going to retain a lot of players and keep building off of what they started. But for this team, I mean, this game, in a beautiful way, it was a loss. This team's imperfect, but in a beautiful way, it was the microcosm of this season. To go down 24, to have everything stacked against you, to be laughed at, and to find a way to claw all the way back, to make it a one-possession game with just a minute plus left. And of course, to ride the shoulders of the guy who has brought you this far when no one could have expected it in Day-Day Reeves. It's a really special and fitting way to end the season, even if it's not mission accomplished for Fordham. It's something to hang your hat on.
A somber mood after the loss, but as you said, so much for Coach Mike Magpie and his Fordham Rams to be proud of. I want to reiterate what you said. We've been just so lucky to be a part of this first year of Coach Mike Magpie and his crew's a sort of takeover of Fordham basketball. It's been absolutely fantastic. We've enjoyed not only just this trip, every trip we've been on this season, whether it's the managers, the coaches, the players, anyone else traveling with us. It has been the most fun, most enjoyable group to be around from a team perspective that I've ever had the pleasure. And we are just eternally grateful. Would like to say thank you, of course, to Joe Henry. Joe Henry, one of the reasons I'm here, one of the reasons I get all the chances I get. He's been just a fantastic partner. So lucky to call the games with him. Would like to thank, of course, the guy who started it all, gave me all these opportunities from the beginning, Bobby Chaffardini, the guy who continues to support us all the way until now, the March of our senior year. We appreciate him. We appreciate all the alumni from the graduating class our freshman year, the graduating class our sophomore year, all the way to our classmates now. It has been a fantastic run here, not only for WFUV Sports and Fordham basketball, but for WFUV Sports in general. It has been an absolute pleasure for me. And once again, Joe, I'd just like to say thank you. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's been so fun working together. I mean, I think about all these games we'll go into, and no matter what happens, like, you know, you'll have a long flight, you'll have delays, all kinds of crazy things will happen, you're tired, and then you get to the game, and it's just so fun. And that's what I'm going to miss the most. If you just have fun in a way you don't normally feel. The adrenaline of it, knowing the players and knowing how special this group is, I think is one of the things that I can't even fully appreciate because I've never worked with a team this closely before and gotten to know all of them. I mean, when we say high character guys, they're great guys, we're not just saying that for the broadcast. I mean, these are truly good people, really kind. They go out of your way, they make you feel seen. Not every player is going to do that to the radio broadcast team that's traveling with them, sitting at the back, right? So for all these players to make that kind of reach out to us, and for the coaching staff too, to Mike Magpie, Ryan Highland especially, just making us feel at home and part of this team. Remember Matt Hurwitz walking up to us our first road trip and say, hey, you're part of the team. Great to meet you. That means a lot. I mean, just that shows that this team, what they're building here, it's a family that they've got. And it's really sad that we have to go now. We're seniors, this is our last year, but I couldn't be more grateful that this is the team that we got to cover, that this is the year, right? Maybe you don't win, can't break that glass ceiling yet. Fordham still hasn't won an A-10 title, hasn't been to the dance since your dad was here, Chris, in 1992. But this unit, really special people, special memories, special moments on the floor, off the floor. Nothing but gratitude.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned it there. Last time Fordham Rams made the tournament, they won the Patriot League in 1991, didn't get the automatic bid. They win it again in 1992. That was the year they get the automatic bid. That's also the last year the Fordham Rams have played in the tournament. As you said, my dad was the WFUV broadcaster on that game and on that run. And the Fordham Rams will continue to wait. Couldn't quite curate the Carrino gap that we were hoping for, but nonetheless, also a fantastic a feeling for me to get to do this job, the job my dad did, the job I've heard so much about, a guy that I look up so much to have this shared stepping stone in our careers. It doesn't go over my head. I'm absolutely proud of it, proud beyond belief of the future basketball Hall of Famer in my house. Yeah. And also my mother as well, who's listened to every single game this season. She constantly lets us know how we're doing at halftime, lets us know how we're doing after the game. She is as solid of a rock, as solid of a supporter as I'll ever possibly even want to have in this life. So thank you to my parents who have constantly supported. Thank you to you, Joe Henry. Thank you to Joe DeBerry, who's traveled with us all year. Of course, thank you to Bobby Chaffardini, who we love and appreciate, and who's been with us all season, all the last 4 years. And we're going to send it back for the last time, Joe, to the Rose Hill Studios for a one-on-one post-game show with who we've heard from all afternoon long with our updates, Anthony Smith, and of course our host, Sam Giangrande. Take it over, guys.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Thank you for that, Chris and Joe. It feels weird. It's the last time we hear your guys' voices sending us back here to the Rose Hill Studio. But let's not try and focus too much on the sentimental stuff. 66-62, GW advances to the next round of the A-10 tournament. I wouldn't say this was a big shock. I would say going to this game, there was some doubts. There was some, is this going to be a Fordham result? But I really did think that somehow, some way, Anthony, your words of wisdom, to quote another song, Let It Be, that your words of wisdom went into that locker room of the Fordham team, but they couldn't secure the bag right at the end, which is, I think, something we've said so many times this season for Fordham.
I think with this Fordham, this loss in general just is impressive in its own. The fact that they were down by 24 at the beginning of the second half and found it to be a 4-point game in the end of it and made it a 2-point game at one point. I mean, it just shows how talented of a roster this Fordham team has, kind of how special of a squad they have and what they're building in these next coming years and the first year under Coach Mike Magpayo and what more is to come these next couple years. And you saw Day Reeves really step in for Fordham as he's done throughout this whole year, 23 points. Their star player, I mean, shows why they got him in the portal and why he's been such a factor throughout this whole season. Second team All-10 in the A-10. And then Marcus Green really coming through for Fordham as well with 12 points. And kind of what you need to see when you win a basketball game, those players stepping up when you need them most, other than your star player in Day Reeves. But aside from that, not really a lot of diversity within the scoring from Fordham. I mean, you see Riku Schulte kind of get held with 4 points there. I mean, he was kind of quiet the whole game. Akira Jacobs, you saw a couple threes from him, had 8 points. But overall, I mean, really good job in the second half. A really good overall job by Fordham to at least make it the game it was today.
Going back to what we were saying earlier about mentality, belief, like these affirmations, this is a result where Fordham, I hope they keep their head held high. I hope that they look back on this and say, you know what? We gave one heck of a game right there. We put in as much fire in us, most energy we have. It's unfortunate that sometimes you just wish the second half was the whole game, that you just use that result, only focus on what happened in that second half and just go with that. Because Fordham, it's unfortunate that they do that a lot, where the first half is so different from the second half. But this is a result where I think Fordham, and especially in the locker room, Coach Magpayo should be saying that his team, his soldiers, should be holding their heads held high, that they should be looking forward to a bright future in the near distance.
I think, yeah, you're going to look into this locker room, and Coach Magpayo is going to look at this team and be like, I mean, it's impressive in its own that we got to this point. You guys are a very talented group. And then you guys really set the stone of what I would like to build here in these next coming years with Fordham, a team that's going to give you 100% effort and maybe not going to have a good first half, but you know that they're going to pounce back in the second half and then going to give you the best 20 minutes that they can give you, and that's kind of what we saw throughout this whole season. A lot of struggle in that first half from Fordham, but they really bounce back in the second half, and they try and punch a team in the nose for 40 minutes. And kind of what you saw happen here today against George Washington. I mean, down but not out is kind of the saying that I go by. I mean, Fordham was down 24, but they were not out most definitely. Made it to a 2-point game at one point, but ultimately, I guess it kind of comes down that you got to play a full 40 minutes. You can't have a 20-minute half like that where you're getting outscored 38-17 in the first 20 minutes. Although it was a good bounce back, you just really need to play a complete game when it comes to basketball.
I think that's one thing this Fordham team really does need to learn going into the next season, that they're playing a full 40 minutes, not 20 minutes, or like they're not seeing the full picture of this. I think that this Fordham team, they really do not see the importance of that first half and see how much it's going to affect the second half. Because just think if that deficit was a little smaller in the first half, this game could be completely different right now. It could have been that Fordham goes through to the next round. It's Fordham, I think, not seeing how important that first half really is, and that they need to be able to be consistent, because I think consistency wins over moments. And unfortunately, the second half, though it was consistently very good, you can't say they were consistently good throughout the whole game. It's the second half, which is more of a moment that I like to say, more of a burst of energy that came right through the gates. But I really do see a bright future of this Fordham team, and I really do hope that Magpio is the one at the helm. He's the one pulling the strings, because I think he really did bring this team together, especially towards the second half of the season.
I think within a team, I think that consistency comes from the amount of players that you have. I mean, not really as much as obviously you want a lot of talented players, but if you have a group of talented players, I think that can make a difference in changing from playing a different first half to a different second half. And I think if Fordham really just hones in on just getting a good amount of players, good quantity of players. Also, they dealt with a lot of injuries throughout this season as well, so I mean that kind of plays an effect. But I think just having the diversity of a lot of talented players that could score the basketball really helps going down the line. Just having those bench points that could really help you, and maybe won't lead to as much struggling in the first half, and you can kind of play a full 40-minute game. And as you were mentioning, Coach Mike Magpio, I think what he built here was a family. In a sense, it feels like this Fordham team was very connected. I mean, they defied all expectations, made it as an 8th seed, played a really good game here in this first round, and they played a lot of good games throughout the season. I think Fordham's going to be a team to look out for these next couple of years, as long as they do a good job with bringing in new talent through the portal and just getting players to come in their freshman year and want to play in New York. And I think Coach Mike Magpio just really needs to hone in on that fact and just try and get a very talented roster, but also a good quantity of players to come play for Fordham.
I agree, and it's a want, but a realistic want. I think this is something that Fordham is able to do. I agree. They've built chemistry. They've built it as a family. Some would say the Ramily, that they have got these players together, and that they've gotten everyone to be able to care for this team. And that I do agree. I think they really should utilize that. Look, this is a school in New York that they have such a wonderful community around them, and that they have to be active in the transfer portal, but they have to also keep what at its core made this team very good this season. And hopefully Coach Magpio is able to do that. And I really do see this bright future for the Fordham team. So as a final little look back on this game, that these players, this team should really just look back on this game and say, you know what? Keep our heads held high for next season. Don't let it get to us. Make sure that when we go into the next season, we come back stronger and look back on a game like this and say, we are able to do it. We just need to focus on the bigger picture, be able to focus on the full 40 instead of the 220s. But I think that's going to be everything from us today. This is the end of Fordham men's basketball for this season. So close, but yet so far at the same time. But before we close out, I do want to shout out Chris and Joe, who were on the call today, but also to all the broadcasters who covered Fordham men's and women's basketball this season. I'm your host, Sam Giangrande, joined today by Anthony Smith, who did our scoreboard and updates, Travis Hayden behind the glass, our glue guy right there, and as always, Bobby Chaffardini is our sports director. Fordham's men's basketball is a production of WFUV Sports. Take care, Ramily. See you guys next season.